Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Saturday, January 7th, 2023, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $, ORION-NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Tennessee Titans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Live play-by-play and reactions with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Kickoff is going to be here in about 5 minutes. So I got enough pictures prepped, ready to go. And I'm ready for this particular matchup, and still was able to come up with at least an idea of what I wanted to be able to do, obviously, for a nice little thumb. Got everything kind of situated, and we're ready to go. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs winning the game that I did earlier, 31-13, and we got ourselves a good one. Someone is going to come out a title winner in the AFC South. Will it be the visiting Tennessee Titans led by Derrick Henry, or will we get the Jacksonville Jaguars beating the worst team in the league in the last 2 years and being able to find a way to win the divisional crown? What a great story it could be for Jacksonville if they end up getting that, crown. I mean, it's one of those crazy things to think that you could be so bad for 2 years and then turn it around with Dougie P. But that's what we're staring at here momentarily. Ready to go. Let's get it, baby. And we'll start getting people situated in here and ready to go. Appreciate you guys. And we got some really good support to make sure we ended up having a good stream. And I am ready to go. I'm just making sure I got everything situated here on all the social media. And I think we should be good. Got everything posted there. I know people are retweeting, getting everything situated, trying to help me out too. All right, let's go, baby.
It is a battle for the AFC South.
Let's get it.
Saturday night, week 18. You've been watching the progressive.
And we'll go over the photos here once we get a few people coming in. Sarah in the building, what to do? Let's get to 100 and donos. Cyberpunk obviously is the true MVP, and it sounds like he will be the MVP for this stream as well to give us, a good support to make sure that we can end up having a good day since we've missed a couple days. Obviously, we missed one day after Monday night to kind of gain our ground and our bearings and just to have a respect for the game to be able to, do that. Still, shout out to DeMar, getting better each day, flexing. And we might not see him, play football next year. But like I said, it takes, day by day, week by week, month by month, just to kind of see where it goes. But shout out to DeMar for obviously being able to, keep a positive mindset through it all. And hopefully we'll be able to see him on the football field here sooner than later. Let's go through some of the photos that I got prepped here for us today. And let's go starting off with the visiting Tennessee Titans. It's not Ryan Tannehill. It's not Malik. It is Joshua Dobbs. So I got a couple of him. So let's go over here. We got a few of Joshua Dobbs. At kicker, no. We're going to get to kicker a little bit later. At running back, we got Derrick Henry. So I got a couple nice ones of Derrick Henry. And we got to make sure we got the cotton candy smoke. This is one of my favorite graphics that we have. At wide receiver, we got Treylon Burks. Sounds like he's pretty healthy now. He had a little bit of an injury bug there in the middle of the season, but it sounds like everything is okay now. Then you got Robert Woods, the former Ram. Nick Westbrook in the building as well. Got a couple of him. Austin Hooper at tight end. And then on defense, we got Jeffrey Simmons. I see you. How many sacks is he going to get? 1, 2, 3. I'm not too sure. Kevin Byard at safety. At kicker, we got Randy Bullock. Head coach, Mike Vrabel. Titans in the building. And then as far as the home team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, we got Trevor Lawrence. Love him. He needs a ball out today if they're going to end up winning this particular matchup and the AFC South crown. Travis Etienne, his college teammate from Clemson, got a couple of him. We got Zay Jones, Marvin Jones, no relation. Christian Kirk, nice action shot, a couple of him. Evan Ingram at tight end. On defense, Josh Allen. No, not that Josh Allen, but defensive Josh Allen. Trayvon Walker, first pick out of Georgia, even though it probably should have been Aiden Hutchinson. Riley Patterson at kicker. Head ball coach, Dougie P. Duval, stand up, Jacksonville Jaguars in the building. So I'm happy I was able to get everything kind of situated and lined up. I didn't know. I mean, I was trying to look for other options, for a background. I could always do the studio background, but I usually only like to use those when it's like Rams and obviously Chargers games, because for whatever reason, SoFi pictures, good ones, don't really exist. So usually I have to use the studio, but I found this one, and even though it's not necessarily like my most ideal photo, I would rather have one that shows like the end zone paint. But I thought, you know what, if it was between this and the studio, let's do this. And I'm happy with what I was able to do. So, all right, kickoff. Let's go. Dougie B for the victory. Cyberpunk in the building. What to do? Finley in the building. Sarah in the building. Laura in the building. Let's get it. Well, the thrill in the building. Let's get it, baby. Shows you, man, how hard you have to work. And when you're going through everything, it definitely takes some time and some effort. I saw that you got some breakfast food. Was it good? No. Okay. There's snacks. There's a cinnamon roll at the top. Don't eat them all. And apple pie. Yes, apple pie with ice cream. Derrick Henry, short gain. Good defense. Yeah, last night we got into kind of like a stone munchie mode. So I ended up getting a big-ass apple pie from Safeway, freshly cooked. So that was like, $12, $13. Got a little vanilla ice cream, got that on the top. Then I bought cinnamon rolls. I even bought a piece of cheesecake with some strawberries on top. So every once in a while, you got to treat yourself. I got to take Paisley for a late night walk after we're done. But we are here. We're ready to go. And let's get it. 7-9 Titans, 8-8 Jags. Who's going to come up out on top? I say Jacksonville, but we'll find out. Dobbs. Little pass to Robert Woods. Short gain on 2nd and 11. Kind of wish it was Malik playing or Tannehill, honestly. It's just kind of a shame that we have to go with Dobbs here at the end. But, I mean, that's how it goes. I mean, injuries have been crazy this year. And if you actually look at a lot of the starting quarterbacks towards the end of the season, it's a lot of second and third stringers. It's crazy. Teams are tanking, obviously, but others, it's just injuries, and they have no choice. 3rd down and 4. Shotgun set. Dobbs. Pressure coming. Pass is low and incomplete. What's new? Vrabel, come on, he says. And I appreciate everyone in the room. If anyone's got Twitter, please do me a solid. Like and retweet the stream. That'll help us get 20 to 300 extra views on the stream. And it's great to be able to see a lot of the people that were in the first stream, that they're back. You guys are very loyal, and I appreciate that. It's not easy, with the grind, but it shows you. I only had 30 minutes. And I was able to pull up, get all the other ones deleted, make a thumbnail, get all the other photos, including coaches and the logos, do all the prepping for the tag words. And, sometimes it's challenging, but as long as I have about 30 to 40 minutes, usually that's enough time. I prefer hour and a half, but sometimes you got to rush. And I'm still able to, not really leave anything behind. Jags with the return, short gain. And now we get to see some Trevor Lawrence, baby. Here we go. Finley's got a fun fact for y'all. 1999 AFC Championship game. Back in the day, right when Jacksonville was starting to first be an expansion team within the first few years of their existence. And a big part of that was Mark Brunell. Jimmy Smith. God, they had some real Keenan McCardell. They actually had a little bit of a squad back in the day. And then obviously we have the more recent from a few years ago with the Blake Bortles, Leonard Fournette, Bouye, Calais Campbell, Jalen Ramsey era. Trevor with the play action. Ooh, incomplete. Flag on the play. And is it crazy for me that I'm excited to watch Jacksonville? I don't know if some of you guys, of course, if you're a Titan fan or, someone else in the division, maybe you're going to root for the Titans like Jameis Meza and tighten up. But for the rest of us that aren't Titan fans or are not necessarily Jags fans per se, a lot of us are rooting for the Jags just because they're the more exciting team. And it's nice to be able to see a guy like Trevor not lose his confidence. And I do truly believe if he keeps working on his game, he can be a top 10, top 12 quarterback. At this point, if I had a choice between Trevor Lawrence, Derek Carr, Ryan Tannehill, right? Or one of those guys like Kirk Cousins. I'm going Trevor. Pass incomplete. And, Trevor's still a little bit raw. You know what I mean? Sometimes the throws are a little off. But again, this is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Remember, this is the worst team in football of the last 2 years. They just got Dougie P. Okay, so you got to make sure you give them some time. And the running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, everything is money, okay, for Jacksonville besides the O-line, and the defense is getting there. You know what I mean? The O-line needs to be better. D-line and the defense needs a little bit more work. You know what I mean? But overall, they actually have a pretty good package overall as a team. They're just really young. They're about a year or two early. And sometimes that happens in the NFL. Shotgun set, halfback toss to ETN. Finds the angle, gain of a couple. Yeah, that's an understatement. He's not done just great, like fantastic. I mean, the record is 8-8, but let's be honest. How many people thought the worst team in football could win the division at 9-8? You know what I'm saying? And at one point they were like 2-7, 3-7. This is fucking incredible. And I'll even be honest. I was a little skeptical for Dougie P. I was like, I know what you did with Frank Reich over there in Philadelphia, and I know that you could be a quarterback whisperer for Trevor, but I was concerned about the O-line and the defense. I never was concerned about the running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, and Trevor. The only thing that concerned me about Trevor, 3rd down and 9, and he slips, was just his confidence. But it looks like he's starting to get it back. Was he touched when he went down? Yeah, he is short. He got touched. And it's crazy to think like Zay Jones is a guy that can get you 2 tutties in a game. Marvin Jones can get 2 tutties. You can get 2 tutties from Christian Kirk and Ingram and ETN. Like they got guys that can put up tutties and big stats. 4th and 1. Are they just trying to draw them off sides and they're going to punt? That's what it looks like. ESP. Yeah, you ain't gonna go for it there. Remember when we all laughed? Remember when Christian Kirk got the big money and we were like, geez, like why did they overpay? But even though that they got other guys like Marvin Jones and Zay Jones, it was nice to be able to pay to get a guy to come over that, maybe wasn't going to be utilized by the Cardinals anyways. And think about it. If you're going to be with Kyler or be with Trevor, where would you want to be? That's a pretty clear answer. I know the Jags aren't the greatest team in the world, but I would rather play for Jacksonville and Dougie P and Trevor any day than play with Kyler and Kingsbury. I mean, it's just not a good thing that they got going in Arizona. 4th down and 6. Ooh, Robert Woods broke 1 tackle, but not the second. Thank you, Cyberpunk. You are the real MVP, man. Like I said, whenever I think that things are going to be shitty or it's going to be challenging, I can't ever expect to have a lot of people in the room unless they promote my channel. I can't expect to have a big jump in subs unless they get promoted and we have 100 people in the room. And then maybe I'll get 30 or 40 subs on that particular day. And that's what happened in that Clemson-Tennessee game. We had 109 people in the room. We had over 7,000 people in the live stream, which is hell of a lot better than 100 to 1,000 that we typically get, right? But sometimes also when you get a bunch of people, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to donate, sub, or like it or share it or actually come back. But you will get some of those people. But one person that we can always count on is Cyberpunk. And not only did Cyber save the first stream, right, with a $100 dono to make sure it wasn't just a stream that was challenging. What does he do? He's going to go ahead and do another 100 for us to make sure that we're not going to only have one good stream today. We're going to have 2. I appreciate you. There's not a lot of people like you on planet Earth, and it just feels really good to be supported. And not only that, to do it on Cash App for both, so that way we can actually survive, because we only get paid once a month on YouTube. It's around the 20th or 21st. So I appreciate you, man. Because if you ended up doing 100 on the the YouTube, then that means I get probably 65 of it next month instead of getting 99 of it right now. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. The real MVP, always going to step up, always going to take care of me. And once things get right, Cyberpunk is next up for a Patrick Mahomes, college jersey or Bo Jackson, something of that nature. We're going to make sure we take care of the people that take care of me. Yeah, Cash App is the way to go. Because like I said, I mean, unless you just want to, give money to YouTube and Google for free, they're already eating off every YouTube channel, millions and billions of dollars that they get. Who's going to really need it more? Me? Or Google or YouTube. Google or YouTube don't need it. You know what I mean? But your boy does. That's facts. Thank you, Cyber. Way to be, bro. Thank you so much. $100 dono in the first stream. $100 dono on this stream. Appreciate you. You are truly a one of one. Thank you so much. Bang, bang. Boom, boom. Bang, bang. $100 holla. And even if we don't get any other donation, the rest of the stream, which I know we will, the stream was successful because of Cyberpunk. Thank you so much, man. I just want to be able to try to get what I feel that I'm worth with everything that I put into the streams. Sometimes we, hit a huge number, 100 to 1,300. Sometimes we're sitting at like $20 or less, and shit happens, but not today. Thank you so much. Dobbs, hands off to Henry. Where you going? Nowhere. Cyber is the MVP. Appreciate you. You know it, brother. You know it. Yeah, it means a lot. There's not very many people that even if they had the extra in their bank account for working so hard at your regular grinding job, you know what I mean? It almost makes me tear up a little bit because I've gone through so many struggles, where it's like, I don't need to hit some crazy ass number, but you want to try to get, something like $20 to $25 an hour, because that's what it would be if I ended up working a regular job anyways. That's what I would be getting paid here in Oregon. So, somewhere between that 18 to 25 an hour if I'm starting off, at a position, Of course, there's going to be other jobs if you're not qualified for that, you're going to have to get less and work your way up. I get it, but no one wants to work for free. You know what I mean? Like I said, especially if this is full-time work. And Cyberpunk, you are the man. Big Chiefs win. 3rd down and 2. Let's see what Dobbs can do, baby. Well, Finley, if you just heard, I mean, if they're taking 35 or 40%, of the donos for absolutely doing nothing, for just being on the platform, kind of like eBay. I mean, it's kind of bullshit. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I said, they're still rich as hell where they could take 10% and be fine, 15%, shit, even 20. There is no reason for them to take, 30, 35, 40, 45% of the donos. I mean, that's why I have to work so fucking hard to make up for the difference that, they take away. Like I said, if I wasn't getting that much taken away, it maybe wouldn't be a big of a deal. You know what I mean? But when you got rent and bills to pay and you have a puppy to take care of, it's not fucking easy. 1st down and 10, Titans. I mean, I imagine the money that they make, Google and YouTube, from the YouTube super chat and the donations, they make more money, based off those extra, revenue, streams that they get from those people. I mean, think about how many people have a YouTube channel and how many people are certified through YouTube and how much they make. I mean, I can't even imagine how much money they make a year just based off super chat cut. It's just disgusting. But it is what it is. It's like eBay. You want to use their platform and gain eyes where you're not going to be able to gain eyes anywhere else. They're going to take their cut. So just a nature of the biz. But with that being said, 30, 35, 40, 45% is fucking crazy. Little screen. Diving for the 1st down. Treylon Burks. 1st down, Titans. Move the chains. Plus, like I said, I mean, if you don't have any other option, like if you're like Megan and you live in Australia and you don't have a Cash App and have to do super chat, then that's fine. But I mean, if there's always an option, between one or the other, obviously, doing the Cash App is going to definitely be more preferred for any streamer, because that way, if you donate 100, you get 99 of it. You donate on the other way, super chat, you get 65 of it 1 month later. It's not the same. I mean, anything is appreciated, don't get me wrong, but, when you're working blood, sweat, and tears, and, this is my 11th year, the last thing that you want to see is, not being able to, get what you feel that you're trying to earn, and then you got to even work harder to make up for that. So 2nd down and 7. All right, let's see what Dobbs has got in the back pocket here. Henry with the Wildcat. Hands off. Short gain. 5-yard gain. I got Henry running RPOs. McMath. Someone do the McMath on that. The sad thing is, you might be right. If they actually ran him the whole game, but he would get tired. 3rd down and 3. I mean, Henry can't throw, but at least he could run the RPO. Oh, thrown out of bounds. Intercepted by some guy in the black. Who is he? Nobody knows. 4th down and 3. That is a good question. I have to see what's local on TV for me. Do you have any preferences? I mean, obviously, if I have it local, then it's going to be, obviously live. If I end up doing something that's not local here in Oregon, then I'm going to have a 15-second delay because I have to stream it, and then I'm going to have but which doesn't really matter, but it's nice to have it live on the same page, Obviously, I'm doing Green Bay and the Lions 100%. That was the, stream I'm going to do. Absolutely. I'm doing that one because that'll be at the end of the night. And then I guess it just depends on what I got going on with Paisley and, making sure that she's not feeling neglected. I mean, at least today we got everyone in the house. So, she's getting enough attention paid to her. But Bucks, Falcons in the morning, Pats, Bills, Vikings, Bears, Ravens, Bengals would be interesting with Burrow. Texans, Colts, Jets, Dolphins, Panthers, Saints, Browns, Steelers, Chargers, Broncos, Giants, Eagles, handoff to Henry. Nowhere. Giants, Eagles, Cardinals, Niners, Rams, Seahawks, Cowboys, Commanders. So Lion, Packers for Sunday night, 100% I'm doing that. And then, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not really sure if there's any other games that are really worth doing. I mean, I guess I could do my Bucks game, but I mean, I have to look at okay, what are the chances that I can get to a hundo with donos if I do a certain game, if it's like morning or afternoon. So that is a big part of where it comes down to when you don't have the amount of people that you need where you can just do any stream and you're going to get to a good number. I'm not there yet. So, I mean, at one point when we get, 30, 40, 50, 100 in the room at all times, it's not going to matter what I do. I can do anything and we're going to hit a good number. We're going to have good people in the room. But at this point, when we're trying to get there, I have to be more strategic on everything I do. So, Pats, Bills in the morning. I mean, obviously that would be, emotional. So you would be able to kind of see something there. But yeah, but we're going to do Lions, Packers 100%. And then I'll talk with Sarah. I usually try to, I know most people, they don't really talk to their lead mods or their mods about thumbnails and what we should do. But this is a team effort. And, NWSF is a family. So I never, I've already, even when I had a partner that I did the channel with before, it never really was like that. I felt like I was doing fucking everything. I was the one that was, doing all the work. I was doing the thumb. I'm doing 90% of the talking, you know what I mean? And, it's just one of those things. It's like, you need to be able to have people that, that aren't jealous of you or hating on you or being a friend of me. You need to actually have people that have your back and that aren't jealous of you or being a hater. And everything worked out. And, yeah, so we'll figure it out. Yeah, the Bengals game won't be as exciting. I agree. Obviously, if we were able to complete that Bengals-Bills matchup, but Robert Woods, first down, Titans. But if anyone's got any suggestions on any of the games in the morning or afternoon, I'm always willing. But again, time is money. And if I'm going to spend, 3 or 4 hours, doing a game in the morning or afternoon, and then we hit like $10 or $20, that isn't really worth it to me to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I want to make sure that my time is valued. My time and my effort is valued, especially if it takes me an hour and a half to prep. Then I'm doing 3 or 4 hours of work. No one wants to work for 4 or 5 hours for $2 an hour or $3 an hour. No one would do it. You know what I mean? So, if I know I can at least, maybe get to a good number, then I try to be strategic that way. And me and Sarah will talk it over. So, but that's what I'm thinking. I mean, even me there's a reason why I don't do every Bucks game either. And it's not like I'm not a true Bucks fan. I really am. But if I do the Bucks games and I'm not going to get very many people and the chances of me hitting a good number are slim, until I get bigger, then we can start doing every Bucks game. But, like I said, it wouldn't be smart for me to do every Bucks game at this point, because it's just, chances are it's not going to be good. I'm not going to be able to, not be able to have enough people in the room to make it worthwhile. Probably won't get to a good number. And honestly, the Buccaneers are fucking terrible. Like, who the fuck I don't even want to watch the fucking Buccaneers. They're not good. They're not fun to watch. So if I feel that they're not fun to watch, then I know goddamn well you guys are going to think the same. Because I try to be not biased. I try to look at it from a fan perspective. Like, if I'm not a Bucks fan or Ducks fan or Mariners or Blazers, okay, and I'm looking at watching games, how excited am I to watch the Buccaneers this year? Not very. That's just me being honest. I have to be real. I'm not like, oh, we're going to go to the Super Bowl and win. 3rd down and 5. Shotgun set. Dobbs, pressure. Trayvon Walker almost with a sack lunch. Look at Dobbs. 1st down, Titans. Move the chains. So Bills Mafia has no concept of how old I am or what that means. So you want me to do 3 games. So you want me to break my back, and you want me not to eat any food, not spend any time with Paisley, and you just want me to do 3 games in a row. Is that what you're saying? I've done 3 games in a row before, and it's a fucking grind. I mean, even if you have a comfortable chair, I don't think people realize how hard it is, to be. It's one thing if you have 2 people and, one person can click buttons and someone can take a breather and then the other person talks. But when you're doing a show and you're producing a show on your own, and you're doing all of the entertainment value, it's not necessarily easy to be able to do 2, 3 in a day. No, I'm just fucking with you, Bills Mafia. I am human, remember, even though some people think I am an alien or a robot. Oh, what was that? What was that? Hold up. What the hell was that? Flag on the play. What? Hold up. What was that? That's like something you see in Pop Warner when you're in like 5th grade. What was that? Oh my God. They really don't want it, do they? Yeah. He's like, let's just throw it. He's like, fuck it. I might be going down. The game, is still in reach. Fuck it. Let me just throw it up like a 500 ball. Fuck it. Fuck it. He said, fuck it. Hot potato. Fuck it. Maybe the guy will, can't even believe the guy caught that. It doesn't even look, and got pounced and got slammed right in the back of the neck too. Good effort for catching the football, but that was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. What was that? He said, motherfucker, what was that? Bullock, right down the middle, and it's good. 51-yarder by Randy Bullock, 3-0 Titans.
I'm not 100% sold yet. Have you? It's fine, Glenn. She's not interested. I get it. Not everyone wants to save money. Renters and homeowners can bundle and save. What?
Yeah, see, I think when you're young also too, Bills, you don't understand how hard it is to be able to be a full-time streamer, how much effort goes in, work goes in. And like I said, I feel my prep time is going to be higher than any other YouTuber too, because like not only am I doing the tag words and everything else, thumbnail like everyone else, unless they have someone doing it for them. Like sometimes I'll have Johnny do it, but there's a lot of work to go in with like the photos, the prepping. I don't have to do it, but I do it because I know it looks better for the presentation, not only for me, but for you guys as well. And like I said, I tried to do something a little bit more unique than everyone, trying to not be like everyone else. Of course, I could have a stream where you have a little box of me and then there's like ESPN page with stats. I don't know. I mean, for me, I would rather showcase the actual visuals. But I mean, if the fans, like that type of format, maybe I'll look into something different next year, when we go into that, having a couple extra smaller boxes and different backgrounds and whatnot. But I don't like to copy what other people do. I don't know. It doesn't really look clean to me. I mean, sometimes, you can have a format where it looks clean with 3 or 4 boxes, but I'm always looking to, upgrade the visuals and upgrade the channel in general. And we've come a long ways. I mean, like I said, this is year 11 for me, 11 years. Most people would not do this. You know what I mean? Yeah, it takes a lot of grit, a lot of grind, but definitely it's worth it. 3-0 Titans. Cyberpunk, what do you want to see for photos, man? I owe you photos for like the next 2 years or so. And like I said, we have other people that have some other situations, but out of our top 4 heavy hitters, 3 of them are kind of going through things. So really the one consistent one right now is Cyber, and thank goodness, because I mean, like I said, it was nice to be able to have, 2, 3, 4 that I could really count on. But I get it. Sometimes shit happens. Sometimes we go through financial changes, job changes, other things mentally that we're going through. But obviously, if I'm trying to do this full time, I'm going to need people to help support. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go do some shitty second or third job. And I already went down that route for, the last 20 years. It took me, 10 just to get to this point where I'm doing this full time. And I don't want to ever go back if I don't have to. So, Cyberpunk, you the real MVP, brother. Bullock with the kickoff. Ooh. Nice return by Agnew. And I won't lie. I mean, there are times I get fucking burnt. You know what I mean? Like I'm mentally fucking drained. But, and sometimes you just have to keep pushing. 3-0 Titans. All right, Jags, let's go, baby. We want to see Jacksonville Duval in the playoffs. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Trevor. There you go. And obviously with the, Titans, they're kind of built like the 49ers, where they run the football, very heavy. They play good defense traditionally, and they rely on that. They don't really expect a whole lot from, the quarterback position, but the Titans, I mean, talk about the Colts with like no wide receivers and tight ends. I mean, you got Michael Pittman Jr. The Titans is even worse. I mean, they got nobody. So, they don't have A.J. Brown anymore. At least they had him. But, I mean, you got Treylon Burks, young, Robert Woods, expendable, Nick Westbrook, expendable, Austin Hooper, expendable. I mean, they don't really have any good pieces on the offense, the Titans, except for Derrick Henry. Treylon Burks has got potential, you know what I'm saying? And he's the new guy. They hope that he'll be, A.J. Brown. But there's a chance that he may never be as good as A.J. Brown. He was very good in college, but Treylon is more like a wide receiver 2 or a 3. Robert Woods is like a wide receiver 5. Nick Westbrook's like a wide receiver 7. Hooper is okay at tight end. At times he plays good. Other times it kind of disappears. But, I mean, AFC South, they need weapons. And then if you flip over to the Jags, I mean, that's what the Colts and the Titans wish they had. ETN. But obviously, unless you don't have a running back, you got Derrick Henry, right? And also you got Jonathan Taylor. But then if you look at the wide receivers, Zay Jones, Marvin Jones, Christian Kirk, right? Evan Ingram. I mean, imagine if the Colts had that type of weaponry, or if the Titans had that kind of weaponry, how much better they would be. Got to really improve those positions for those two teams. That's facts. 3-0 Titans. End of the first quarter. Come on, Jags. Let's go, baby.
See how much you could save by bundling with Geico. Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, like 2 times miles on every purchase.
The noise canceling. You're being too loud. Thank you.
Joy. Earn 5 times miles on flights. Going up. And 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel. Plus, get access to over 1,300 airport lounges. And maybe see the one and only Taylor Swift. Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Get a couple Bo Jacksons up here for my boy.
They just piled it on. Roast beef, ham, other roast turkey, all on the subway.
Free beef, that's great. Free beef. That's the Subway series. Greatest menu of all time.
It's my boy.
And now get it all for $12.99 for the rest of the season. NFL Plus. Sign up today.
Hey, you. It's that time of year again. When it's okay to get a little carried away for football. To feel all the postseason feels for football. It's okay to do this. Or even that.
I don't know what that is.
And it's definitely okay to get wild on Wild Card Monday. So if you want to leap, chase, and cheese...
Ooh, that's a cool one.
Okay. Why? Because this is playoff season.
Well, the NFL playoffs are here next week. It all starts with the Super Wildcard Weekend presented by Verizon. 12 teams, 6 games, 3 days in one great weekend. The road to Super Bowl 57 starts here. Stay tuned after this weekend's games for the announcements of the full schedule.
God, I can't wait for NASCAR and baseball. Hopefully we can end up gaining some ground, and instead of people just watching me, they actually sub and donate and actually support. Like I said, that was my first year doing MLB and NASCAR, and I had a blast doing it. Just hoping that we can get a little bit more support on that end, and hopefully that'll help us out. I mean, we're still going to do AEW, WWE, a little bit of NBA playoffs, a little March Madness, but obviously my true loves are going to be wrestling and football. And then obviously now it's NASCAR and MLB, definitely over NBA. Well, you also have to understand too, right? The Titans defense is very physical. So they're not going to let a lot of people run on them. And if you notice, when they're healthy and Jeffrey Simmons is out there and they got a good complement, it's hard to move the football, even if the Titan offense kind of sucks, right? The defense is usually pretty stout, and Henry usually is decently a factor, if not a really big factor. You know what I mean? But, I mean, the defense is very disciplined on Tennessee, and the main reason is this. They play off the identity of their coach, It's not easy. And like I said, you got to think ETN's going to have limitations, but he's not a big back. He's a little guy. You know what I mean? So when you're built like a fucking Pacheco or or Jerick McKinnon, I mean, what the fuck do you expect? The guy isn't built like Maurice Jones-Drew, where he's a bowling ball and can bounce off guys. I mean, a lot of times there will be some slippage. There'll be, some plays where they fuck up and they get knocked down off the initial little weak-ass hit, Lawrence. I mean, he's not a big back. He's more of like a kind of a smooth, guy. He's not really a power back. He's more of a smooth agility type of guy. I mean, when they had James Robinson, that was also kind of nice to have that there, but he's no longer there. I mean, the main thing is just for Trevor's confidence. That almost went right past the offensive lineman's head, number 79 there, Fortner. And sometimes having that chemistry with your college friend helps. ETN and Trevor Lawrence and Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. It's a special thing. I imagine the bond between them is very tight. Short game. Yeah, I remember watching him. There, and I know Florida had a rough year this year. I don't think he's as good as his brother, but he is pretty good. I mean, he's got some skills, you can tell. And I imagine that if he keeps improving, he might be able to make it to the NFL just based off him and his brother's name. You know what I mean? Maybe someone will take a chance on him. So, oh yeah, I'm going to do a lot of Mariners, a lot of Dodgers, a lot of the great teams that are playing throughout the year. And then I'll be doing, definitely I'll be doing Daytona 500. We're like less than a month away. I mean, I try to do every NASCAR race as possible, and I try to do as many baseball games as possible too. I mean, unless I'm in Seattle watching Julio. So, I mean, 2022 was an amazing year. Went full time for the the longest time. Took me 10 years. I got a Julio ball. I got an Aaron Judge ball. I mean, I don't think it gets any better than that. A Julio rookie year ball and an Aaron Judge ball in the same year when Aaron Judge had his historic streak. And then on top of that, Julio rookie of the year. I mean, I'm not sure if that's going to be replicated, but I'm going to try. I got other baseballs to try to get. So 3rd and 8 with a timeout. I mean, I don't really know what I can compare that to, unless I get like an Ohtani ball. That would be exciting. Mike Trout ball, Ohtani ball, another Julio ball would be great. And the All-Star game is in Seattle this year too. So I'm going to try to go to that. Yeah, my dad's a big Dodger guy, so I do Dodgers and Mariners specifically. But then once it goes to the playoffs, then I start doing whoever's playing. And if you go back and look, I mean, I'll do whoever's in the playoffs. If it's the Braves, the Cardinals, Yankees, and I'll pull up the photos of all the players. It takes a lot of work and a lot of research, but I feel like I know more about MLB and NASCAR than I have in a long time since I covered it the whole year. Shotgun set, 3rd down and 13. Lawrence with a little bit of a wobbler, but caught. 1st down, Jags. Trevor Lawrence to Christian Kirk, baby. Nice job. 1st down, Jags. Yeah, I'm a big Dodger guy too. My dad's been a fan since the 50s. So, I mean, we collect memorabilia. My dad's got probably the biggest Dodger collection, here in the Northwest. I mean, he's pretty hardcore. I mean, a lot of the stuff is from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and even some current stuff. But we like the old stuff. We're vintage guys. Trevor, little check down to Zay Jones. Yeah, I got a Kike Hernandez ball. That was the first ball that I ended up getting. And I've only been to like 7 Mariner games, and I've already gotten 3 baseballs. I would say that's pretty fucking good, but I am a fucking honey badger. If the ball is going to be in my area, sometimes I almost feel like it's like predetermined. Like it's like, because I said that I was going to get a Julio ball, and I did. I said I was going to get an Aaron Judge ball, and I did. But like, how often is someone going to say something like that, crazy talk, and they actually come through and they actually get the ball? You know what I mean? I got my Julio ball in the bottom of the 9th, which was wild. And then I got the Aaron Judge ball kind of in the middle of the game around like the 4th, 5th, 6th inning. And it's like you just have to be aware. And some people are very aware, when they go to games, and others, they kind of sit on their hands, or they're eating their nachos, or they're not even paying attention to the game. They're on their phone. I'm in the ready position when I'm at a baseball game. As soon as that ball hits that bat and I hear that sound, I'm already looking to see where the ball is going to land and if it's going to be close enough to me where I don't have to knock over any adults or kids to get it. So, Lawrence, they try to do a trick play, turnover. They got too cute there. They got way too cute on that play, and they turned it over. The Jags are going to lose this game if they keep playing like that. I mean, you have this huge opportunity to be able to win the division, and you got to be better than that. I hate the play call right there. Not the right time. Tyree in the building. What to do? Fly, Eagles, fly. What to do, brother? Yeah, should have went. Trevor should have put a little bit more touch on that. When he threw it, it looked like initially it was going to go low, like kind of the midsection. But once he threw it, it kind of went up higher towards the helmet. And he's lucky that didn't get actually picked and actually has scored a touchdown on that play. Because if the ball was a little bit lower, you might have been able to catch it on the fly and take it in. Rough. And like I said, sometimes when you're a good team, things, fall in your corner. The balls bounce in your corner. Good teams find a way to win. Bad teams find a way to lose. Still think that the Jags are the better team. But again, if they keep messing up like this, there's a chance that they end up losing this game by like something crazy, like 3. And that would be that would hurt, especially when you can go to the playoffs and it's just right there and you just have to execute. Vrabel's loving it. All right, let's get some photos up here for Cyberpunk. A little bit of Bo, because Bo knows. It's my boy.
7 moisturizers and 3 vitamins to smooth, heal, and moisturize your dry skin. Gold Bond. Champion your skin.
Living with eczema, we're used to this feeling. It's time your skin gets used to a different one with Oxalora. For the treatment of mild to moderate eczema, Oxalora is proven to clear or almost clear skin and significantly reduce itch fast. Oxalora is an on-the-spot cream applied directly to your eczema to help your skin feel less itch, less irritation, and more relief. All without steroids, pills, or injections.
Oxalora can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB or hepatitis B or C. Serious lung infections, skin cancer, blood clots, and red blood cell counts occur with Oxalora. And people taking
I still got my Bo Jackson Royals picture in my childhood bedroom still hung up. Still there. Still haven't moved it. You know, big part of my life, and that'll never change. Second quarter, 3-0 Titans. Come on, Jags. You got to just put it together. Can't get too cute out there, Dougie P. Especially when you're not even, on the board yet. I get it. That could have been a big, big play. But, I mean, I would have rather, you scored some points already and then try a play like that. A little screen with Henry rumbling and a bumbling. Nice. Yeah. You try to take that down. Not going to be easy. What's good, Tyree? I mean, like I said, mental health has been a little tough this week, and then obviously we had the whole DeMar thing. So then we ended up taking a day to kind of just regain our mental health and everything. And thank God that he's been getting better, right? And so we then did that. And then the last 2 days, I've kind of wanted to stream, but I just mentally have been really tired and just drained. And I feel like I'm being pulled in so many directions. And not having a Thursday night game either, but finally, this is like the first day, in a few days where I actually feel good. And obviously I'm doing both games a day to make up for, Thursday and Friday. And then we'll be doing probably a game or two on Sunday, definitely doing Packers and Lions for Sunday night. And then the Natty on Monday, which will be fun. Georgia and TCU. Second down and 9, Dobbs. Treylon Burks, short gain.
Treylon Burks, he's the guy who, when they traded A.J. Brown back in April to Philadelphia, he's the guy who they then drafted with their first pick to fill that void, and he's missed a lot of time this year dealing with a turf toe and a concussion, and looks like he's a little bit banged up now. I like it when I've seen when he's been on the field. But those are pretty big shoes to fill.
Third down and 5. Dobbs. First down, Titans. Austin Hooper. The sad thing is right now, like we know Trevor Lawrence is much better than Dobbs, but Dobbs is playing better. You know what I mean? It shows you could be second string, third string, fourth string. If the offensive line is giving you time, even a guy at third or fourth string can look better than the first pick in the draft. They need to figure it out. It's not all Trevor's fault. You know what I mean? Like I said, the offensive line needs to be better. But again, it shows you if you don't have time to go through your reads, even the best quarterbacks look average or below average. Henry, short gain. Let's get some points, man. 3-0. I don't want this to be like one of those other Thursday night matchups. And of course, we already knew that this could be possible. 7-9, 8-8. We knew that this was not going to be like in the 30s. At least I did. I had a good feeling that this was going to be low-scoring game, but I didn't think this low. Come on, Jacksonville. The opportunity for you to make the postseason is right fucking there. But the sad thing is, ooh, big stiff arm by Henry. He said, finish him. Was that Jenkins? Jenkins just flew to fucking Pluto. He hasn't even came back to Earth yet. Yeah, nice try to go for Henry up top. You have to go low. And even if you go low, you're going to get run over. See you later. He said, nice knowing you, bud. Pow. Yeah, I don't think anybody saw TCU. I mean, obviously we knew Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia, Bama. You know, we had certain teams that were kind of towards the top for a good chunk of the year, even when Bama lost. But floater, touchdown, Titans. And that's the reason why the Jags might lose this game. If you're letting a third string guy, Dobbs, beat you like that, I mean, maybe you're not going to deserve to make the postseason if you can't even beat a third string quarterback. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You fucking kidding me? Look at the throw, too, from the third stringer. 23 didn't even turn around. Unfucking believable. Extra point is up, and it's good. Football can be so cruel sometimes, but you have to execute. And if you take a team for granted, this is what happened. You're down fucking 10-0, and it doesn't look like you're going to win this game. And it shows you coaching is everything, too. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Unbelievable. Come on, Jags. But also the Jags defense is super young too. So again, this is the youngest, one of the youngest teams and obviously the worst team in football for 2 years. That's tough. If I can get a good photo of Chig. There he is. That was a good throw. Conquo. My boy Chig.
I'm not slowing down anytime soon. That's why I take OsteoBioflex every day. It's clinically shown to improve joint comfort in 7 days and continues to improve over time. Kinda like us. OsteoBioflex, because I'm made to move.
Do you want to be a better investor? Public.com is an investing platform.
It's always those guys that you're not even thinking are going to even be a part of the run, and they get you. 10-0 Titans. Yeah. Yeah, and I love Jonnu Smith. I wish he never would have left, and I think that's a big part of the downfall, too. It's like when you start seeing certain pieces leave that people take for granted. Like when the Ravens lost Marshall Yanda, I already knew that was the beginning of the end for the Ravens. They weren't going to ever win a playoff game. Lamar was never going to do shit. Defense is getting older. Calais Campbell isn't the same kind of player. I just knew without a true wide receiver one, you know what I mean? Like even with Mark Andrews, there was the beginning of the end. And the Ravens haven't been the same since that Hall of Fame offensive lineman Marshall Yanda retired. And sometimes when you lose guys like that, things go down the shitter. Look at the Rams, right? They had Andrew Whitworth. Look what happened. I mean, they already were shaky on the line with him, and then they lost him, and then they just went really down the shitter. And now we'll see if McVay even coaches next year, But it shows you just because you go to a Super Bowl and just think that you're going to be able to run it back, doesn't happen. Yeah, I have a nice Maryland one here as well. And that's why I try to watch as much football as possible, because you never know when you're going to be able to find a hidden gem that no one remembers. But you're like, damn, remember that game that I watched, that Maryland game? And even though I'm not going to watch a lot of Maryland football, but, I usually try to watch a little bit of every conference, because you just never know when that sleeper player, might come on your TV. And then you're like, oh, fuck, I remember this guy. Go, 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 go. Nice return by Agnew. Nice job. Not sure what I think about that helmet, but yeah, he actually wasn't too bad for them. But who would have thought Chig would be the guy that gets the tutty? Let's be honest. Nobody.
season-long 54-yard return. And the longest allowed by the Titans as well.
All right, let me get a Jamal Agnew in here. I got you. I got you, Jamal, my boy. Little pitch. ETN trying to use that speed. Agnew, I see you, boy. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe they need to get another running back. Maybe ETN needs to be the RB2 and the third down back and the change of pace back. And maybe they need to get a guy like a Josh Jacobs in there. And then you can use a Jacobs and an ETN and then have like a really great thunder and lightning combo. I mean, that's what the Jags need. You're going to need a bruiser, ETN. I mean, it might end up working for Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon for the Chiefs. But again, they have Mahomes and they have Bieniemy and they have Andy Reid. They don't have that here, obviously, in Jacksonville and Duval. Ingram. First down, Jags. Let's get some fucking points before halftime. Let's go. This is an embarrassment, man. You're at home. Let's go. Stop fucking around. Laura, are you reading off ESPN right now? That's a no-brainer. Unless CJ Stroud has a better combine. It all depends on personal preference. And you never know. I mean, maybe they do something crazy and wild and, go for like a offensive lineman or a defensive guy. But you would assume the Colts at 5 will probably be going CJ Stroud unless he goes number 1 overall. But then shit, if Sarah gets Bryce Young at 5, I don't think she's going to care. It's still going to be okay. Bright future for both guys. 80, 80, and 71, baby. All right, come on, Trevor. Let's go, baby. Shotgun set. Lawrence throwing across his body. I don't know if I like that throw. Christian Kirk with the catch. Yeah, I mean, Jacksonville can get some points in the second half. I already know that's possible. You know what I mean? But obviously it shows you how important the offensive line in the running game is. The best friend to a quarterback is an efficient, running game. And the thing is like if you're going against the Titans, you're not usually going to get a lot of running yards on certain teams. It's like if you're going against San Francisco, do you think elite running backs are excited to go against that defense? Fuck no. They already know it'll probably take 25 carries and you might not even get to 70 yards. That's rough. Where sometimes you can get 10 carries and you're at 110, There we go. First down, Jags. Let's get some points. Let's go. Let's go. Starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm now. Uncle Mo. Yeah, and plus there is something on the line, Dougie P will light a fire. But again, O-line, D-line, it shows you how important it really is. You can have all these guys, ETN, Zay Jones, Marvin Jones, Christian Kirk. That fucking shit don't matter if the O-line ain't doing their job. Play action fake. Lawrence has got time. Wide open. Touchdown. Bang. Duval. Let's go. Christian Kirk. Trevor Lawrence. Christian Kirk. Touchdown. Jags. Con is loving it. I'm loving it. Let's go. There we go. Finally. Thank God. We want to have a good game. Nobody wants to watch a 3-0 game or a 10-0 game. There we go. That's what I want to see. Perfect throw by Trevor right there. Nice route by Christian Kirk. Broke his fucking ankles. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Extra point is up. And it's good. Riley Patterson with the extra point. Dougie P, he loves it. There we go. 10-7. Now we have ourselves a game, finally. Yeah, that is kind of concerning because the worst time to have injuries is December because you want to get hot and healthy. You still could win the Super Bowl. You could still get to the NFC Championship game. But I think with the injuries that you have had with Jalen and with Lane and a few other people, there is a little bit of concern now that, maybe not necessarily Dallas or Minnesota or these other teams, which, will be pretty good, but a team like San Francisco, could come into Philly and win. And I think that even if Jalen was playing and never got hurt and Lane never got hurt, San Fran could still win. Now, if Philly has to go on the road, right, obviously if they had to go to Dallas, they could lose, but I'm not seeing that happen. So it's probably going to run through Philadelphia. The only team that I would be worried about is San Francisco. Other than that, as long as you don't have to play them until the NFC Championship game, you're good. But if Philly has to play San Fran prior, that could be where they get knocked off. I mean, Philly still is arguably the best team in the NFC, but you're starting to see the gap between Dallas and as well as San Fran, a team that's got good offense and defense. Obviously, on the road in Philadelphia, those teams, Dallas couldn't win on the road, but I think San Fran could. But at home, yeah, San Fran could win, and obviously Dallas could win, but Dallas isn't good on the road, especially in big moments. And even when they were at home, they fucked that up against San Francisco last year. So $100 in donos, one single donation. Let's try to get a couple more, huh? Let's try to do it. Your boy's working hard. 10-7 Titans. Nice for Trevor to get going. Man, thank God for Cyberpunk. If we didn't have Cyberpunk today, we'd be sitting at like $10, $15. Yeah, $15 for 7 hours of work. Not ideal. Not ideal. Yeah, but again, it's a team game. You know what I mean? It depends on who you're playing as well. You know what I mean? You like I said, and that's why there's a bigger reason that Jalen should be the MVP, either him or Mahomes. But like I said, there is some concern now, and like I said, I tried telling some of those younger Eagle fans, you better shut the fuck up and stop being so fucking braggy and making all these ridiculous posts on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Things happen when you start getting cocky like that. Injuries happen, shit starts to happen, and it did. And not every Eagles fan was being extra, but I always try to let people know sports karma is real. You know what I mean? And just because things look so, easy breezy cover girl and everything looks easy throughout the season, there's always going to be hiccups along the way. They just didn't experience really any of those until December, which is unfortunate. But, you got good balance, and the Eagles still could end up winning the Super Bowl. But it definitely makes Philadelphia fans a little bit more nervous because they know the gap is closed. It's not this big gap where they were so much better than everyone else in the NFC. There are teams that can match up and beat them, and I think they know it. First down and 10. But if you do have home field and you're in Philly, it's going to be very difficult to win there. And I honestly feel there's only one team that could win in Philadelphia in the playoffs, and that's the San Francisco 49ers. Because they're built with a good running game and a good defense, and they don't need Garoppolo or Purdy to play great. They just need them not to turn the football over, and they'll be in the game. Flag on the play. 2:31 left in the second quarter. Plus, you can't expect a guy to sit for like 2 or 3 months and then all of a sudden get in and then just, even with the great supporting cast that you have, you can't expect him to put up Jalen numbers. And you're just going to go, 16-1 or something, 15-2. It's just not going to happen. It's the NFL. There's a lot of parity in the NFL. The teams are much closer to each other skill-wise in the NFL than any other sport. NBA's got the top tier. MLB's got top tier. NHL's got top tier. But NFL, even if you're the worst team in the NFL, sometimes even the worst team, even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while and can end up getting an upset victory. Second down and 13. 2-minute warning. Wish there was a little bit more scoring, but at least it got ramped up here in the second quarter. God, I'm getting hungry. I need to eat some food at some point.
Quarterback Jerry Jacobs had his first interception as a Lion.
And tight end Brock Wright brought it home with a game-winning touchdown. This season, Cornwall by Marriott empowers fans to follow the passion for football near and far by exploring new places and connecting with their fandom.
Oh, baby, let's go. And if anyone's got Twitter, please do me a solid, like and retweet the stream. It definitely will help us get more views, usually 20 to 300 extra views, depending on the game and what's going on. So, and I appreciate, I usually always get Sarah to do that for me. I appreciate that. And we got Cyberpunk to do it as well. So appreciate you guys. 10-7 Titans. Yeah, I feel like I never really get a chance to relax either, because as soon as I'm done here, what am I doing? I'm doing the laundry, I'm doing the dishes, I'm going to take Paisley for an hour walk, But it's good. You got it. Sometimes it's just nice to be able to have that alone time. I get my music. I listen to E40, Be Legit, Too Short. They actually, on the Pandora channel, they have. I'm trying to think of what if I can see if I pull it up here. But there's some really good. Let me see. Let me pull it up. But it's a collab with like E40, Ice Cube, Too Short, and Snoop Dogg. And they have like a kind of an album that they did together. Damn, it's good. Like it'll come up on my Pandora E40 channel. And I was like, damn, this is like insane. There's some really bangers on there too. And like I said, the new like mumble rap stuff that's out there, I'm not really into. But like I said, I like legends. And I can always listen to the stuff from 80s, 90s, early 2000s. And I do like some of the stuff that's from 2010 and, obviously recent within the last like 5 to 10 years. But I mean, Snoop in the prime, still going at it. You got Ice Cube, Too Short. Obviously, they're not really doing music as much. But then when you get someone like E40, I mean, what an illustrious career. And he still isn't really necessarily mainstream, but to be able to do it for 10, 20, 30 years, pretty impressive. That's why E40 is my favorite. That's a music that I can listen to, always gets me hyped up. Very underrated, E40. E. Fonzarelli, 40 Water. Yeah. Gardner Johnson's going to be huge. And obviously, it's going to be very exciting to see what happens. Hopefully, you guys don't get upset and you guys make it at least the minimum to the NFC Championship game. I know, obviously, for your team, it's Super Bowl or bust because you guys went all in. You started picking up players, towards the end of the deadline, picking up guys like Sue. You don't do that unless you're going all in. And no other team went all in this year besides Philly. So it's like pretty much if Philly doesn't get to the Super Bowl and win it, it's a failure. You know what I mean? Because you invested so much. But like I said, this won't be the last time that Philly is this good. Obviously, things change from year to year, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. And if they let Miles Sanders go and then get someone better, like a Josh Jacobs or something, that could maybe be the difference between Philly, getting to a NFC Championship game and winning, or getting to a Super Bowl and winning it or losing it. So we'll see. It's going to be a lot of movement as we go into next year. That's facts. All right, 10-7. We got minute 55 left. Oh, God, Burger King commercial. Hell no. Stop it. Chicken Junior, Whopper, $5. Buy this. It doesn't look or even taste as good as the photos or videos that are on the TV. Nice try. Not going there. Yes, I rule. Not going. Plus, Burger King kind of makes me sick. I don't know if it's like the flame broiled or the oil that they use for like their fries and their onion rings. The onion rings are shit compared to what they used to be when I was a kid. The Whopper is half the size it used to be when I was a kid. Obviously, I know times change, things change. But you used to be able to get a Whopper for $1. You could get onion rings for $1, $2. You can get strawberry shakes, which they don't even do anymore. It's a shame. I did like Burger King as a kid, but as I got older, it always would fuck my stomach up. I don't know what it is they make their food in. It tastes good, but I don't like having fucking bubble guts and having my stomach fucking hurt after. Probably not. I mean, I think a lot of us are hoping for the miracle, but I would say the chances of that happening is probably 10%. I mean, Georgia is battle tested and they have more NFL players. Like 5-star, they got like 25. TCU's got like 1. So, I mean, it is possible TCU could upset, you know what I mean? But, I mean, they're going to have to, give it everything they got. And obviously Max Duggan has got to play the game of his fucking life. It would be great for college football overall to show that someone can win other than the SEC team or a Clemson for the ACC, other than LSU, Georgia, Bama, or like a Clemson. It'll be nice to be able to see someone. And obviously we're hoping one day Ohio State or Michigan wins it, because that'll be good for not only the Big Ten, but just for everyone else. Okay. Like if Oregon ever gets there, or USC or Michigan or Ohio State, we want to have faith that maybe we could actually keep it like somewhat like close instead of just getting to the game and getting blown out and stomped by the SEC by 20, in the championship game, which typically is what happens. 10-7 Titans. We got a minute 35 and counting. There's going to be a lot of movement, though, Tyree. 12 or 13 quality running backs available. I mean, imagine if you had Saquon Barkley and he was healthy, or if you had Josh Jacobs and he was healthy. I mean, that's a huge upgrade than what you have with Miles. Miles is more like an RB2 playing RB1. It's not bad, but you could get someone better. First down, Dogs. But it just depends on the books, like you said. Well, at some point you will be able to come through and you guys will be able to make it if Jim stays. I mean, the first thing is that no one said that you guys would ever get past Ohio State, and fucking Harbaugh would get his ass kicked year in, year out, 2 losses, 3 losses, 4 losses, 5 losses in a row. But the last 2 years, you guys have clipped them. So it just, sometimes you got to crawl before you walk. It was just that fucked up play calling early in the game. If you're a running team and you play defense, why are you trying to do Philly and doing trick plays? So a big part of that Michigan loss was on Jim himself. It wasn't necessarily about all the plays. It was the execution, but the play calling was fucked, right from the very start of the game. And if you guys would have stuck to your guns, kick field goals, not go for it on 4th down and 1 and 4th and inches. Take what the defense gives you. Don't try to be someone that you're not. Be who you are, a run team with good physical defense. And I think you guys would have won that game. Now, would you have been able to win, overall, against Michigan and Georgia? I mean, I don't know. Also, having injuries to your stud running back doesn't help either. Now, if you had him healthy, then it could have been a whole nother story too. But I know Michigan and Ohio State, eventually, one of those teams will win a natty in the next 20 years. I just don't know when it's going to happen. You just got to think that it's going to happen at some point. That's why it's kind of sucks, because it's like every year, SEC, it gets played out, man. We want to see someone new. But, just because we want TCU to win doesn't mean they're going to. 2nd down and 5. I mean, unless you're Shep, and then you're totally rooting for Georgia. Wide open. 1st down, Titans. Austin Hooper cradling that football. Nice job, Austin. Yeah, and if TCU beats Georgia, it's just going to be like Georgia's game that they had, obviously, in the playoff. It's going to be like a barely thing. Like Ohio State could have won that game. Ohio State and TCU, they need to play like that same type of ball where it's back and forth. And I'm not sure. I mean, TCU does have some athletes out there, but I just don't know if their defense is going to be able to, I know they can score and keep up, but at some point, Georgia's defense is going to clamp down. And then what is TCU going to do when that happens? I know they can both score, but the one thing that concerns me is TCU's defense. I just don't know if they're going to be able to stop all the weapons that Georgia has in their arsenal. They have a lot of fucking weapons. And they can run the ball effectively and throw the ball. It's like you don't know where the hell the ball is going to go. And it's not like I think Stetson Bennett's that good of a quarterback. I don't think he's going to do shit in the NFL. It's just that they have a really good supporting cast. And, he does make big plays, but it's not like I think that the Bennett's going to be some fucking the next Andrew Luck or, the next big thing. Sometimes you can just be elite in college, and that's where it ends. But I think a lot of us are going to be rooting, for TCU. But in reality, it kind of feels like, Alabama when they were starting to do like a dynasty shit and they start winning over and over. Now, instead of Alabama, now it's Georgia. So just when we thought one SEC team maybe slips up a little bit with Bama, the 2 losses, and then boom, here's Georgia, finding a way not only to win last year, but chances are they're going to win this year again. So. Third down and 2. Yeah, but I think for the sport of college football, since there's so many shitty matchups in the regular season, having someone other than an SEC team win would be great for college football, whether it be from the Pac-12, the Big Ten, ACC, or a team like TCU. Play action fake. Dancing into nothing. Good defense from the Jags.
That ball out and stop the clock, and then at least they're looking at whether or not they want to try to go for it on 4th down. Instead, the decision's been made. Field goal unit is on after that loss of 4 on the sack, and it'll be a 39-yard.
Yeah, but you can. It's not. Staying healthy is one thing, right? But don't you think that talent-wise, there's guys better than Miles? I know it's your guy, but I mean, if you can get someone that's better. I mean, it could be the difference between actually winning a Super Bowl and not winning a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I mean, we all know that Miles Sanders has got talent and there has been injury issues, but when he's been healthy, he's been great, right? But I mean, what's Miles Sanders as far as running backs overall? I mean, I could probably name quite a few that are much better than him, even though that's your guy. But I'm just saying, I mean, imagine if Josh Jacobs was your guy, the offense would be so much better. And it's not like Miles Sanders is going to take less money and be an RB2. He'll try to go somewhere else to be RB1, but and especially with that offensive line, if you got a great offensive line, I mean, you can pretty much put anyone back there and they're going to get yards. Yeah, but how long did it take for him to get healthy? It took him all the way to this year. It's like, how many years have you had him? You know what I mean? It's been kind of a disappointment overall. I mean, this year has been a success, but overall, there's been a lot of like, well, I'm not sure if this is the guy for our future. You know what I mean? So just because the offense has had great success, he hasn't had the best career in Philly overall. Could have been much better. And the injuries have been a part of that. Field goal kick from Randy Bullock, and it's good. 13-7 Titans. I mean, I think Miles has had a good, overall career. You know what I mean? But for Eagles fans, I mean, you can go through. You guys are always going to do running back by committee. But it would just be really nice. I mean, just imagine for a second Josh Jacobs and that Kelly Green, with everyone that you have on your roster, everyone healthy, and you could have a guy that could maybe lead the league in rushing and, put up 10 or 15 touchdowns. How much better the offense. I mean, the offense already looks amazing. But then if you have a guy like that, plus with other guys behind him, to take and soften the blow a little bit, I mean, it could be really incredible. Like, it could take the offense that's already like a 90 to 95 all the way to a 99. You know what I mean? Like, where it's like, how the hell do you stop this team? So, but it all depends on money and obviously injuries and, finding the right fit for the ball club and whatnot. But, I mean, there's going to be a lot. I mean, Dalvin Cook, if he could stay healthy, you know what I mean? But again, he's another guy that kind of gets hurt as well. So Saquon Barkley, another guy. I don't think I could ever imagine Saquon Barkley in Philadelphia Eagle Green, but I mean, he always has injury issues as well. But you saw Saquon this year, overall, he stayed injury free. And, there's a reason why I drafted him in fantasy, because I took a chance on him and I knew that he was going to more than likely stay healthy, and he did. So look at McCaffrey too. Everyone said, well, McCaffrey and Barkley, they suck. They always get hurt. They used to be top 5 backs. They're never going to stay healthy. And then look this year in 2022, 2023, they both stayed healthy this year and they're making impacts. on their team. Saquon led the Giants to the playoffs. Without healthy Saquon all year, you think they would have made the fucking playoffs? Hell no. Wouldn't have happened. Run CMC did well for the Panthers, went over to the Niners. Now that's the biggest competition to you guys. If they didn't have CMC, they wouldn't be as dangerous. But that's like the single guy, on that team that could literally destroy you guys. You know what I mean? And you guys have a good defense, but McCaffrey, when healthy, arguably is the best running back in the league. What he does running and catching the football, because he's a guy that can throw up 2, 3, 4 touchdowns. And there's other guys that can do that as well. But as far as the dynamic factor, I think McCaffrey, when healthy, 100% healthy, and he's got a good O-line in front of him, and the line for San Francisco is better than Carolina. I mean, how do you stop a guy like that? It's tough. All right, 13-7. It's halftime. God, I'm hungry. I need to eat something. All right, I need to get something to eat. I'm starting to get nauseous. Sitting in this chair forever. All right, hopefully we can get a few more donos tonight before the night is over. I think we've gotten one, but at least the one was a hundo. So, Cyberpunk, you the man. I appreciate you.
On the other side, our crew in New York will take over with big news on the coaching front and the potential future of 2 Super Bowl champs.
All right, I'll be right back.
You're watching the All-State Halftime. All-State reminding you that football season is mayhem.
Mornings made easy. That's totally Target. Give every morning a fresh start with a Jimmy Dean Delights breakfast. They're chock full of protein and ingredients you want. From wraps to bowls to sandwiches. You'll never have the same old again.
We're delighted and hope you will try. Impact. You can go unseen, but never unfelt. We see you all day in and day out, fighting criminal justice reform. We see you, Chris, using the power of literature to help the incarcerated build a better future. We see you, Sean, working with law enforcement to revise policies. And the game changers making it all happen. We see what you do, and we support you.
Welcome back to the All-State Halftime.
Welcome back to the All-State Halftime. We're back in New York with the Countdown crew. And for some coaching news, we go to our insider, Adam Schefter. What's the latest, Adam?
All right, thanks very much, Sam. The Denver Broncos have received permission from the New Orleans Saints to interview their former head coach, Sean Payton. The two sides have not agreed to any form of compensation, which would have to be worked out if Denver decides to go and hire Sean Payton. But the NFL has told the Broncos that they cannot meet in person with him until at least January 17th. But Sean Payton is on their radar, and the two will make plans to get together at some point in time. Meanwhile, Rams coach Sean McVay's immediate future as the Rams head coach is in limbo. Sources believe McVay will take some time after Sunday's regular season finale against Seattle to determine whether or not he'll return in 2023. Been a long season for the Rams, with lots of injuries. His first losing season as a head coach in Los Angeles. I think Sean McVay's going to want to get away and do some thinking about what he would like to do in the future, Sam.
Yeah, Adam, there was a little bit of talk about this last year after the Super Bowl win. This feels a little more serious after what he just went through. Only 36 years old, though, Teddy. What's your reaction?
Young coach coming off the Super Bowl. He's a Super Bowl champion, but I don't think you can underestimate the mental toll that not on players, but the coaches even more than the players. And when you see a guy like Sean McVay, young, energetic, you have to understand how much it means to these coaches and how much stress it is. Every win, every loss, and it's not the wins, because the wins they move on from quickly. Okay, it's the losses that they take with them forever, and it's the stress that is. It can be a lot for this coach.
Yeah, Teddy, you're exactly right. Rex, we've heard you talk about it for years. Just so we've seen it firsthand, what it feels like, how much these coaches put in. But I'll say this also: every offseason, there's usually between
All right.
2 and 6
Gotta eat some food here.
openings, right?
Oh,
There's
man.
always a shocker. There's always a
Nauseous.
surprise.
Haven't ate anything really.
It makes sense, but like this is a big surprise. I mean, Adam Schefter reporting this tonight. 5-11, the year that they've had, it's tough.
Just got married this year, maybe wants to live a little less stress in his life and a new season. And I hope he enjoys it. Let's get to Sean Payton, though, because this could be big, teaming up with Russell Wilson potentially. What do you think, Ray?
Hot.
Russell Wilson, look at the year that he's had, and you look what a coach like Sean Payton has done in his career, the success that he had with Drew Brees. That's a win-win situation for me. Russell Wilson needs a guy like
$100. Let's get $200.
I think it'd be great for Denver. Unfortunately,
God bless Cyberpunk.
And the reason for it is
Today he would have been a fucking disaster without him. That's for sure.
You have no compensation there because all the draft picks are already going to Seattle. And so to me, I don't see it happening. I can see Sean Payton coming back. He didn't want to go against Patrick Mahomes twice a year. I can see him going back to New Orleans and maybe bring in a quarterback named Tom Brady.
Oh, how about that? That division is a little bit easier. All right, after Week 18 wraps up tomorrow, Monday night, the College Football Playoff National Championship between Georgia and TCU. Let's go to Fowler and Herbie for an update.
Sam, thanks. A championship matchup that defies odds and expectations. You're not supposed to be able to be 201 preseason. You're pick 7 in your conference and get here. But TCU has found a way and going back to back in college football, which hadn't won a title in 41 years.
Potatoes, omelet.
Incredible to watch these two teams and their accomplishments and how different the storylines have been for them to ultimately get here. Georgia, of course, looking to become a repeat national champion. Lost so much from that defense a year ago, but they still have
Fucking starving.
Who's become the face of this Georgia team in 2022. They'll have to play, obviously, at a unique level, which he's done all year, for them to be able to kiss that trophy in 2022.
Watch Orion eat stream.
I don't know a person, including Sonny Dykes, that thought they might be here playing for the national championship. They were 5-7 a year ago. Had so many wins where they had to come back, including the Michigan game that's going back and forth late, but they believe in each other. They'll believe in each other Monday night when they take on the Dogs. Will it be the defending champs going for back-to-back or the long shot underdogs from TCU Monday here in LA, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific.
Can't wait to see it. Thanks, guys. First half over. Titans lead Jags 13-7. AFC South is up for grabs.
Yeah, and TCU could win. That's definitely for sure. I don't think it's like one of those things they have no chance. I mean, because I don't think anyone thought they were going to even beat Michigan. So if you can beat Michigan, I mean, Michigan and Georgia, there's a little difference there because Georgia just won the Addy. But, I mean, TCU could do the unthinkable. I just don't know if that's the team that's going to do the unthinkable. There's going to be other, college football natties where we have like a really surprise team that no one thought. And they will win against like a Bama or Georgia, against one of the SEC teams. But I don't know if it's this team.
Plus, every plan is price protected for every customer.
A bed with a bump in your erection might be painful, embarrassing, difficult to talk about, and could be Peyronie's disease or PD, a real medical condition that urologists can diagnose.
I know, right?
8 years with Xiaflex, the only FDA-approved non-surgical treatment for appropriate men with PD. Along with daily gentle penile stretching and straightening exercises, Xiaflex has been proven to help gradually reduce the bend. Don't receive if the treatment area involves your urethra or if you're allergic to any of the ingredients.
Gotta wipe off the drool.
Effects, including penile fracture or other serious injury during an erection.
Oh, man. I can't let myself get that hungry like that. But, when you're grinding, there's no time to sit back and stop. You just got to keep grinding it out. Third quarter about to start, 13-7. Got a couple more bites to eat, and then we'll be good to go. And I'll feel a little bit better.
Saturday prime time. Plus, meet on ABC.
At Honda, we know that pride is in the blood. You want to punch the rain. The all-new CRV and CRV Hybrid are in the Honda line of the vehicles.
Did the show move? A Lifetime original movie. The new judge. Would you say I'm a loose cannon? No. At least not to your face.
Reba McEntire's The Ham premieres Saturday, January 7th at 8, only on Lifetime.
Do you want to be a better investor? Public.com is an investing platform that helps you build, grow, and manage your portfolio easier than ever before. With Public's powerful tools, you control how you invest. You can seamlessly view and track your performance, create a customized investing strategy, and invest in stocks, ETFs, and crypto all in one place. Get the tools you need to build a better portfolio. Sign up. Build a better portfolio with Public.com.
In 7 years, you can meet, get married, have kids, get a dog, and still be covered in your Honda certified vehicle. Get a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty, plus factory-trained technicians and Honda genuine parts. Search your local Honda dealer today.
This broadcast is copyrighted by NFL Productions. The product use of all artists. The use of this broadcast brings pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game.
All right, your boy's starting to feel like a fucking human again. Let's go. I got a little bit of food in my stomach. Man, I mean, there's been times where I've, done 2 or 3 streams and, didn't really eat a whole lot. I mean, it's one thing if you're drinking beer, then, you got beer and you got other, if you're doing that, but obviously I'm trying to cut back on that too. And I've been really good about it. Like I said, I've had, one like celebratory like drink when I went to go hang out with my buddy when we went to the Blazer game arcade and this like really awesome pizza and wing spot. So I'm not really sure if I count that. I've never really been addicted to alcohol, but I've been pretty much alcohol free for a few months now, besides 1 half beer that I had just with a pizza, just as kind of, doing it with him. I mean, I definitely could have just said no beer at all, but it's not like I have had any really beer or anything since then. So Titans with the kickoff, and I feel a lot better. And like I said, I still need to keep working on my weight, but I've lost a good amount and I still got a little bit to go. Agnew. Good return. Oh, nice. How'd it go? How old's the daughter? 12, 13, 14, 15, something like that? Yeah. Shoveling snow in Utah. You're just chilling? Good to hear, man. So Josh, update me and the rest of the people in the room, since you're one of the newbies and whatnot through here. We really appreciate you. Can you type in all your favorites, all your favorite teams or players, so that way we can get to know you a little bit better and know. And it also helps me out, so that way whenever I see you in the room, I already know who you like, and I already can kind of have an idea of where I'm gonna go photo wise, or something that we want to talk about. I know you love Utah. You're a big Utah Ute fan, but as far as NFL, MLB, NBA, wrestling, if there's any other interests that you have, players, past or present, it would be good to get to know, everyone that we have. And like I said, I do care about each individual, and I like to get to know people. So 13. I figured it was around that wheelhouse. That's awesome. 2nd down and 2. Hand off to ETN. Can't even get a first down. I said they need someone that's got a little bit bigger body. ETN too small. ETN looks like a fucking wide receiver rather than a running back. And you might be able to get away with that if you're the Chiefs, when you got Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon, but this isn't the same team. You got some big boys up front. It's like you're trying to run one-on-one against that, and you're built like this. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? You're this is you, and then this is what you're trying to run against. I don't think it's going to go too well. 13-7, Titans. It's like they need to use ETN in the passing game. That's not really his role.
That's how far they'll have to go on third down. Fourth Jaguar possession of the game. They went punt and the fumble. They tried to flip it to Agnew and then the touchdown on the 25-yard throw to Christian Kirk.
But one thing that even though the bowl game, it didn't really pan out the way that you wanted the last 2 years, winning the Pac-12 means something. And I'll tell you what, whether it's, Oregon, Oregon State, USC, or any other contender, we want that. And you guys have gotten that the last 2 years, and you guys have deserved it. You're the only team that can run the football effectively and play good fucking defense, and that's what got you there. Lawrence. No. Wow, a little extracurricular there at the end. I got you, bro. I mean, obviously you want to be able to win the Rose Bowl. You don't want to be able to be like Pac-12 champ and necessarily fall on the short end of the stick, but to at least win the Pac-12, that should mean something. Us, rivals that look at you, we don't forget. We respect you. You know what I mean? Of course, we want to beat you, but we respect you. And like I said, as far as us as Oregon fans, we would rather have you than USC, honestly. I mean, we have different rivalries, but we don't really see you guys as like our number one rival. And, we root for you guys. I know I do. I know a lot of us Oregon Duck fans were rooting for you against Ohio State last year and rooted for you this year. First down, Jags. Farrell, and it ain't Will. First down, Jags. Move the chains. All right, Jazz, Utes, Braves, Packers, Chipper Jones. Nice, awesome. Well, you fit. We're Northwest sports fanatics here, so you're just like us. Okay. And your dad was born there. Yeah. And so sometimes that's what happens. You have your dad or your uncle or your brother or, someone influential in your life, and you just kind of pick up, from what they were doing at that time. I totally get it. I mean, my dad's been a fan of the Dodgers since the 50s. It's impossible for me not to, I know a lot about the Dodgers just because of him, and I like history. So a lot of the older shit, the 50s, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, I like that stuff. Not that I'm saying that sports now isn't good, but if you go back from history to see some of the legends and GOATs that we've gone through, especially in the 80s and 90s, in all sports, including wrestling, it'll never be replicated ever again. Shotgun set. Nice catch from ETN. Are you a John Stockton or a Karl Malone guy, or neither? Do you like both of those guys? I mean, I imagine if you're a Jazz guy, you got to love those two. That's funny. I actually wrote, because like when I was a little kid, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, I got one of the Beckett's from back in the day, and I found the addresses for all the teams. And I wrote to every single NBA team saying that they are my favorite team, even though the Blazers are my team, and just to see what they would send me. Bumper stickers, pocket schedules. I would ask for autographs. And the only person that actually responded back to me with an authentic autograph, Karl Malone. And I lost the autograph photo, LA Gear promo photo that he had, because he stopped signing cards in the early 90s because people were selling his shit online or to other people. And so he was like, fuck that, I can sign for kids. But he knew that a lot of the middle age and the older people, they were selling his shit. So then he started signing his own promo stuff. And I lost the box. I didn't know, where it was. And I guess it was at my dad's house. And my dad just found it. And I just found my Karl Malone authentic auto on the photo just like, I don't know, maybe a month ago. I got it in the other room. It's actually really dope. So I've always had a thing about Karl Malone because he actually took the time, to actually sign the photo. And if you go on eBay and look, you can find other authentic photos, the same one that I had. And there's not a lot of them. There's only like 5 or 6 online total, a couple different pictures that he had through LA Gear. But I definitely ended up. And for a long time, I thought, is this real? Or, because I compared it to other Karl Malone autographs and it looked good. But then I ended up reading more about Karl and finding out that this is what he did. And then I compared it to others, even ones that were PSA. And it's exactly the same, photo that I have, that promo LA Gear photo from the Utah Jazz facility. back in like 1991, 92. Pretty cool. I was like 10 years old. And I just found it. And I'm 40 now. So love me some Karl Malone. The mailman, baby. First down and 10. Ooh. First down, Jags. Marvin Jones. Who? Marvin Jones. First down, Jaguars. Yeah, I don't have any John Stockton autograph stuff. But I know obviously playing at Gonzaga, John was the man. Trevor, floater, incomplete. Yeah. Well, it's Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan ruined it for, the Blazers in 92. He ruined it for the Phoenix Suns with Barkley in 93. Ruined it for the Utah Jazz in back-to-back years, 97, 98. Ruined it for Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, and Detlef Schrempf in 96. I mean, he ruined title opportunities for the Blazers, for the Suns, for the Sonics, and the Jazz twice. I mean, it just, if it was anybody but Jordan, maybe something could have happened, but it's just the, time period where we all grew up in, and you're just not going to beat that. And honestly, if Jordan's dad didn't get murdered, right, and he didn't go to baseball, there's a chance that they would have won 8 in a row. I mean, we know Houston was very, very good with Olajuwon, and then they got Drexler the following year, and they went back-to-back. Never underestimate a champion, right? But, I mean, even with the center position being so good, I mean, there's no guarantee that Houston beats the Bulls in a 7-game series, especially if Jordan doesn't walk away. I mean, we could have ended up having 8 in a row. Even though that sounds crazy to think, but a three-peat, father got murdered, went to baseball, came back, and then another three-peat. I don't think anyone on planet Earth could have done that besides maybe Kobe. Trevor? Floater? Oh, he was wide open too. Damn! Trevor! Yeah, true that. And that pick and roll, there's no one that's ever done the pick and roll better than those two. And Malone was very underrated as a jump shooter and a free throw shooter. Like, you saw so many times with the pick and roll, and Karl would bounce off on the elbow, and a lot of big guys can't make that shot on a consistent basis. You know what I mean? And some of the best forwards back in the day were Barkley and Malone, and obviously Barkley leading the league in rebounds, being a kind of a thicker, chunkier, small forward, power forward. Field goal is up, and it's good. 13-10 Titans. At least the game is closer. Missed opportunities, Trevor. That should have been an easy touchdown. Yeah, but, if you're a Spurs fan, I mean, it was already kind of unfair already with, you had the strike year, and then you had David Robinson, and then you get fucking Tim Duncan, from Wake Forest. I mean, you guys had a nice run. You know what I mean? Like, not many people are going to have a run like that with Popovich and then Parker and Ginobili and, Duncan. And then you even had Duncan and Robinson together, obviously getting that one. So you can't win them all. And you guys ended up winning a lot. So, and I imagine there's a lot of teams that felt that they got screwed by playing the Spurs. There was just no way to beat them. They maybe weren't really flashy, right? You know what I mean? But they got the job done. Like Tim Duncan was just like the guy that just did everything by the book. Not the most flashiest player like a Kevin Garnett, but Duncan, was just magical. Rebounds, block shots, free throws, scoring, defense, hustle. He had it all. Timmy. 13-10 Titans.
One of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than this.
Stop. You're in.
Oh, cool. Yep, even easier than that. And with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
And don't forget, we'll cap off Super Wildcard Weekend on January 16th, a week from this Monday night, with our Monday night playoff game at 8 Eastern on ESPN and ABC. Our MegaCast coverage also includes.
Thank you, Will the Thrill. Appreciate you.
And our ESPN Deportes Spanish language.
Anytime I can get people to share on the Twitter, it always helps.
What game they get at the end of the weekend?
13-10 Titans. All right, here we go. Decent return. Oh, trust me, dude. I'm a Blazer fan. I still am not over Sean Elliott in the corner. And you know what I mean? I like I said, I've got to see the Spurs many, many times in Portland. I even snuck down to the front row when Rodman was on the Spurs, and I was sitting in Bob Lanfear's seat, like the middle seat on courtside. He was late. And so I just told my dad, I'm going to sneak down here. And I sat down there for about a quarter and a half, and he showed up almost like mid-second quarter. And then I went back to my seat with my dad. But I got to see Rodman slide for loose balls, like go right past me, and hear all them talking on the court. You know, when you get to hear guys, you know, like from back in the day, like a Rod Strickland or a Kenny Anderson, and then you're seeing those players back then when Rodman was on the Spurs, that was like kind of the transition, you know, with the hair color, you know, going from normal Dennis Rodman from like the Pistons, and then starting to do the craziness with the partying and Carmen Electra, Madonna, hair all different colors, you know, with the Spurs, and then eventually to the Bulls. Rodman was one of a kind. I don't even know how a motherfucker parties like that, you know, doing all the partying and then coming to work, you know, with like no sleep and then still being able to put up like 18 rebounds. Unreal. First down, Titans. Move the chains. Treylon Burks. First down, Tennessee. First down and 10. Dobbs under center, hands off to Henry. And they got to make sure they limit Henry, because if Henry gets in the end zone in the second half, they might lose just based off that factor alone. I'm not really sure if the Jags are going to be able to stop them and then score, you know, and it's like catch up. I mean, the game is in reach. It's not like it's out of reach, but it really will come down to momentum and who might have the ball last. Direct snap to Henry. Henry still throws it. Oh, almost completed too, and a PI. Wow. Derrick Henry had motherfuckers dragging him down. He's like, nope, I'm still going to throw the ball. Not today. Handoff to Henry. Stonewalled. Good tackle. Shows you sometimes quarterback is overrated. You know what I mean? You need to be able to have O-line, D-line, defense, play calling, and coaching. You know, everyone thinks, oh, I need to have this great quarterback to win. You really don't. I mean, look at a lot of the teams that have, you know, certain players that shouldn't even be playing, but they do just enough or do way more than you even think they can do. And the other team sleeps on them, takes them for granted, you know, throws a touchdown pass, Like, I don't think anyone thought that Dobbs would be able to, kind of nestle that in there in the perfect throw, threading the needle. But shows you, I mean, if you're in the NFL, you're there for a reason. Even if you're third string, even a third stringer can make plays. Just not as effectively as a second or first string. Third down and 10. Shotgun set for Dobbs. Pressure coming. Dobbs. Robert Woods. First down. Titans. Move the chains. What up, Matt? What's good? 13-10, Titans. Handoff. Haskins, short gain. Yeah, but when one team's got Dobbs and the other one's got Trevor Lawrence, I mean, this should not even be as close as it is. Obviously, we know they have a great running game and a great defense and a great coach in Vrabel, and that's why they're able to stick around, even though, and maybe even win this game. Even maybe the Jags have the better team overall, but maybe the better coaching job is Vrabel. Almost caught. Wow. They're lucky that was dropped. Look at him acting like he actually did something. All good, brother. Have a good one. Third down and 7. Shotgun set. Third down and 7. Pressure coming off the edge. Dive! Incomplete. Good defense. There we go. Fourth down. Trying to get like some cheap late hit at the end. Let's look. All right, Randy Bullock for a 41-yarder, 4th and 7. Kick is up, right down the middle, and it's good. 16-10, Titans. Yeah, Jags need to play much better than this if they want to be able to beat the Titans. And I know maybe they came in here overconfident, thinking that, fuck, we're going against Dobbs. That guy sucks. We're going to win. But if you don't execute on open throws, Trevor, that could be the difference between you winning the game and you fucking losing the game by 3 or 4. Definitely got to get locked in better than that. And you already fucked up on that one touchdown. So hopefully that's the only fuck up for the rest of the night. And that fumble, obviously, when he did the trick play, that was stupid too. Maybe I need to get a new picture of Trevor.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we don't have freezers. It's definitely real food. We always have fresh stuff coming in. I mean, this is the best box that you can get.
Fresh is what you stand for.
Definitely.
To you, it may just be an elevator.
Here goes nothing.
But for a young homeowner becoming their parents, it's a learning opportunity.
Come on in. The more the merrier. Harrison. Bonjour. We got any out-of-towners more there?
Tom, it is not easy.
It's in Florida. Must be a heck of a view.
Okay, so everyone else is facing this way?
Progressive can save you from becoming your parents, but we can't save you money when you put that with us.
That was terrible. Okay, let's hang back. We're going to try that again.
SeatGeek presents the High Five Strangers Guide. SeatGeek got him a quick deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets, so fans can fan.
Good nights made easy. That's totally targeted.
Magic continues for TCU.
God, if TCU wins, how great would that be? I mean, they would go down in history. It's like, you know, and it's kind of crazy that it's not even a Pac-12 team. I wouldn't expect it to be, but you would think it would be like a Big Ten team that was the team to do it, not necessarily a TCU, but you never know who's going to end up being great at the end of the year. Vrabes, yeah. He's a damn good coach, though, whether you love him or you hate him, especially if you're a rival in the division. The Titans have been kind of at the top, but you can tell the Colts and the Jags are getting close, where it's going to be a 3-team race sooner than later. And then hopefully the Texans, if they get Bryce Young, and maybe in the future the Texans can be maybe what they used to be when they had J.J. Watt in his prime and Deshaun Watson before he became a creeper. The Chiefs. Feel bad for the fucking Bengals. But again, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I think a lot of people are still giving the Chiefs and the Bills credit, but I don't see any other team besides Chiefs, Bills, Bengals that actually can do anything. Dolphins, Steelers, Titans, Pats, Ravens, Jags, all of them are kind of garbage. Maybe the only team, maybe the Chargers, maybe could be that fourth team, behind the Bengals, Bills, and Chiefs that might be able to do something, but their coach stinks, their play calling stinks, and they always get hurt, so we can't even include them. But if you're looking at who could be the fourth best team, it definitely ain't Miami. You know what I mean? Even though they have an explosive offense, but maybe the fourth best team is the Chargers right now. Maybe this is the year where they surprise people and they have a little magical run. You never know. I just don't really see it, though. I don't really feel, it's not like I don't believe in Herbert. I don't believe in the extra pieces that are around him. I don't believe in the defense. They always get hurt. I hate the coach. Horrible play caller. You know what I mean? I love Eckler. I love, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. I love everyone on the offense, but the O-line and the defense still need a lot of work. 2nd and 10. Trevor. There we go. That's the throw that I've been waiting for all fucking day. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That was nice. Pretty. Nice job. Beautiful throw. If you would have had a throw just like that, you would have had a touchdown on that other pass. But look at this. Let's thread the needle. Boom, right there. Don't drop it, motherfucker. First down, Jags. Here we go. We just need to be able to get like a score, a stop, and another score. But we haven't been able to see that. It's just been, kind of running in the mud. One team gets a field goal. It's not really someone taking advantage of the momentum at all yet. Incomplete. Like I said, if the Jags can get a score, go up 17-16, stop them, get another score to gain a little momentum, that could be the difference between winning and losing this game. All right, Christian Kirk, he's worth the money, even though we thought that was kind of a questionable move. But now as you look, to see like how the Jags have progressed, it was a good move to pay the money. If that's the guy that they wanted, yeah, you might have paid like maybe 10 or 12 million too much, right? But it happens sometimes. You give a guy, the benefit of the doubt. And as long as Christian Kirk produced like he did with Kyler and he's producing with Trevor, then you don't mind the extra 10 or 12. Could have you used the extra 10 or 12 to get another player? Of course. You know what I mean? But, like sometimes you got to make that tough decision. And, you got Marvin Jones, you got Zay Jones, right? And you got Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. That's a solid 4-piece. And we're not even talking ETN. You know what I mean? We're not even talking about Etienne or Trevor. Zay, Marvin, Kirk, Evan Ingram, they've all had moments on previous teams where they've shined. I actually like that offensive roster. 3rd and 10. Oh, get rid of it, Trevor. Incomplete. Offensive line, is not very good. And that's why, it's not all on Trevor. You can't expect him to bail you out every time. 72 with a shitty blocking performance and then giving up right there and not even continuing to block. Come on, 72, you fucking bum. You want to win this goddamn game or not? Jesus. Jags with the punt. Fair caught. Come on, Jags.
Once you meet with a TurboTax expert who will do your taxes for you, you're free to do not taxes. Show your eyes things that are not taxes. Show your brain things that are not taxes. See if not taxes makes you laugh or cry. Come to TurboTax and don't do your taxes. Meet with an expert who will do them for you. Intuit TurboTax.
The more you burn with Caesar Rewards. Check it out. I'm going full Caesar. Let's go. What's full Caesar?
That's when you place a free bet while eating a Caesar's Rewards meal at a Caesar's Rewards location.
It can get pretty intense. That's going full Caesar. All right. That's out of nowhere. Bunch of tiny Caesars. Yeah, I think we should have to do that.
Feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't at its best. But a little Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil psyllium fiber gels to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. And also helps lower cholesterol, slow sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. So you can feel lighter and more energetic. Lighten every day the Metamucil way. Feel less sluggish and weighed down after just 14 days. Sign up for the 2-week challenge at Metamucil.com.
Hello, I saw you move in and I wanted to welcome you to the neighbourhood with some homemade biscuits.
Oh, that's so nice.
And a little tip, Geico could help you save on homeowners insurance. Cookies. Biscuits.
A little nutmeg in there?
Oh, it's my mum's secret recipe.
You can tell me.
It's a secret.
Is it cinnamon?
It's my mum's secret recipe.
Call Geico and see how easy saving on homeowners and condo insurance can be.
I'll come back for the game.
Well, there's a lot on the line in this weekend's game. Giants and Eagles. Philly trying to clinch the #1 seed in the NFC with a win against the Giants. Lions and Packers with a 7th seed on the line. Packers win, they're in. Lions need a win plus the Seahawks loss. Patriots and Bills. Patriots' easiest path to the playoffs is a win, which would clinch the #7 seed in the AFC. Dolphins are in for a win against the Jets plus the Patriots loss. The Steelers are in for a win. Losses by the Patriots and the Dolphins. Crowd's starting to come to life.
All right, here we go. Dobbs, hands off. Henry falls down. But also remember, the Jags were the worst team in football for 2 years. They're not even supposed to be anywhere near 8 or 9 wins this year. Most people thought if everything went great, everything, maybe 6 wins, maybe 7. No way in hell anyone thought 9 potentially with this win. You know what I mean? They're about a year or 2 ahead of schedule. And that's a big part of Dougie P. 2nd and 10, Dobbs, play action. Okonkwo, tackle him. First down. Titans. Good old Chig. My boy Chig. Okonkwo. Yeah, those Maryland helmets are ugly as fuck. He's a good player, though. First down and 10. Dobbs hands off to Henry, rumbling and a bumbling. It's crazy. They got nobody on their line. Injuries are a motherfucker. It's a man's game, violent. Henry again. Uh-oh. 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 Fumble. Oh, shit. That could have been the moment right there. Ooh, he is lucky that motherfucking went out of bounds. Okay, holding. I was going to say, dude, that was kind of weird for him to get loose like that when he hasn't done it all game. He said, flag. Fuck. Holding. Well, there's fucking holding on every play. The games would take like fucking 6 hours to do if they called all the penalties that really happen on every fucking play. That's facts. Second down and 16. 16-10 Titans. Dobbs. Where are you going? Nowhere. Third down and 17. Dobbs going deep. Picked. Yes. Yes. Let's go. Go, go, motherfucker. Go. Yeah. Ah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's go. That's what they needed. Uncle Mo. Let's go, baby. No penalty. Trevor. Zay Jones with a short gain. Hey, Tyson Campbell, baby. Tyson Campbell, baby. All right, stop fucking around. Let's go. ETN too small. He did not eat his Wheaties. You're too small, my guy. You're an RB2. You know, you might be able to get away with ETN being the starter if you have an offensive line made of gods, like on the Niners. But, you know, if you don't got a strong offensive line, or the Eagles, you know, if you don't got that strong O-line, I mean, you can't really run like this. Or If you don't have a strong offensive line, then maybe you have this, and then that could, put you in a position to win. But end of the third quarter, 16-10, Titans. Ought to get touchdowns. Fuck these field goals. I mean, if you have to take a field goal here, fine. But at some point, if you want to win, you're going to have to get a tutty in the fourth. You can't just go this whole game with just one fucking tutty and one field goal. You need more. Come on now. But at least they got an Uncle Mo play. Well, let's do something with it. You know what I mean? You can't have another turnover and you give it right back to them. And you definitely can take the three, but you got to be getting a touchdown at some point. You got to get a score, a stop and a score, but you got to pick here. So take advantage. Easier said than done, I know. I mean, it's there for you to take. It's not like the Titans are this like amazing, fantastic team. I mean, they're 7-9 and they're just beat up, just like every team in the AFC South and the NFC South. We all suck. Like the only teams that could probably win a playoff game. I mean, if the Jags can't even win this fucking game, then, it's sad to say, between the AFC South and the NFC South, the only team that could probably win a playoff game now is Tampa. You know what I mean? And that's not even a guarantee. You know what I mean? But even Jacksonville probably wouldn't be able to win a playoff game. I mean, it depends on the matchup.
Jaguars are trailing by 6. They have left some points out there. The miscue on this fumble, trying to flip it to Jamal Agnew for a turnover, and then Trevor Lawrence missing a wide open Zay Jones in the back of the end zone. They ended up getting a field goal on that possession, but they left 4 points out on the field right there. And now a 3rd down and 3 as we begin the 4th quarter.
Come on, motherfucker. Let's go. 16-10, Titans.
After the interception by Tyson Campbell.
Shotgun set on 3rd down and 3. Trevor. Oh, underthrown for Christian Kirk. Trevor.
And the rookie was up to the challenge. It's 4th down, and the field goal team comes off. Such a great route by Christian Kirk, and this is a touchdown, but it's the inside pressure that doesn't allow.
Needs to throw that ball further into the back corner. Yeah. Jeffrey Simmons, he kind of good. Field goal is up, and it's good. 16-13, Titans. They know Dougie P's smart. He ain't stupid going to go for it there. Even if it has to go to 16-16 or you win 19-16 in overtime, whatever, you don't fuck around in the 4th quarter. Not at this point. This ain't his first fucking rodeo. Trevor. Offensive line stinks. Zay Jones reminds you of a teenage Russell Wilson in what way? The way they look? I mean, comparing a wide receiver and a quarterback in what way? All right, 16-13. Come on, baby. I mean, I wish I could say I feel confident that the Jags are going to win this game, but, I mean, they really haven't had the momentum at all. I mean, they haven't really been in control of the game at all. So, I mean, it still could be a miracle ending, but, I mean, they're going to have to earn it. I was going to say, besides looks, I don't know any other comparison that you're really talking about. There's a little bit of like Michael Thomas and Russell Wilson. If they had a baby, maybe it would look like Zay Jones. I'm looking at photos right now, and I mean, there's a little. He kind of has a little Michael Thomas look to him at times, and then a little bit of a little Russell Wilson. And when you go back and look at some of the older photos. I didn't see it at first, but when I compare the photos, the hairstyle, if his hair is a little bit longer, a little bit like curlier and whatnot, like his younger days, there's a little bit of a resemblance of Michael Thomas and a little Russell Wilson there. All right, 16-13, Titans. Really low scoring early on, but it looks like this might be a fantastic ending. He's definitely not going to fucking Denver. You couldn't pay that man $1 billion to go there. Why would you want to go play with Russell Wilson and what Denver has? You know what I'm saying? You'd be better off going to the Saints, going to the Chargers with Herbert, or going to Dallas with Dak. I mean, there's no scenario, even an elite coach like that. Denver's not really a destination anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you got Russell Wilson there. I mean, why would, it's like that's a headache in itself. You know what I mean? That prevents people wanting to come to the team, himself. It's not an attraction because Russ is there. Russ is such a psychopath that no one even wants to go there anymore. Free agents. Why? So you're going to get a bunch of money and never get the football? They need a lot more than Deshaun Payton to turn that bitch around. Matt knows. My friend Jay Graves knows. A lot of my Bronco friends know. It's not looking good for quite a while. I mean, they might have to wait until this Russell Wilson experiment is over, and then they can get back to business. But you already went backwards like 5 years with the Hackett-Russell thing. So you're already fucked. There is no Super Bowl. Like I said, you may never even get another one for a long time. I thought maybe Russ and Hackett could make it work, but the personalities are too different, and Russell Wilson is not from this earth, and that's not in a good way. I mean, he's just living on another planet with his own set of rules, living in some fairy tale la la land with Sierra, raising Future's kid. Good stop. It seriously is. And the thing is, you actually have some good wide receivers, Javonte Williams. You actually have a really good fan base. Defense has some pieces, Patrick Surtain, you know what I mean? You got some pieces there, but the fact that Russell Wilson is there, it is the least lucrative job, even to a high-end coach like a Sean Payton. Like, you'd be better off going back to the Saints, even though that's only a little bit better than Denver's situation, because they still got a long ways to go to get things going. But if Sean Payton is familiar with his old team, he could turn it around, right? But the best situation for Payton, to me, would be the Chargers 2 and Dallas 1. Nice sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a Jacksonville Jaguar, Saxonville sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, yum. Said even the Broncos can't. Oh. I mean, they're already kind of set at wide receiver, so. But that quarterback, I mean, it shows you. And the thing is, if Russell Wilson was likable and was coachable and he wasn't so crazy and feeling entitled, you know what I mean, and actually was a good teammate and actually a human being, you know what I mean, people would want to go to Denver. They're like, well, maybe Hackett, maybe he wasn't the guy. But if this is the old Russ in Seattle, a former top 3 quarterback in the league for years and years and years, yeah, people would think that Denver would be maybe something where you could actually win a Super Bowl or get an AFC championship with good Russ. But, I mean, the truth will always come out. You can hide it, and the coach is going to hide it. Teammates can hide it. But at some point, if you're fucking crazy or you got crazy tendencies that are not positive and they're more negative, eventually it's going to come out. People can say it's bashing, But a lot of times, I mean, if you are doing these weird things that's preventing the team of, gaining chemistry and, and being able to move forward, I mean, if anything, you have Russell Wilson, it's making the team worse. Honestly, you'd be better off with almost any quarterback in the league other than him, because then you can move on, and replace. Unless they decide to get a quarterback and just put Russell on the bench as the quarterback too. That might be the best thing that they could do, honestly. Say, you know what, Russ? Enough with you. You're on the bench, and you're only going to get in as if the starter gets hurt, and I would try to go for someone else. I wouldn't be playing Russell Wilson. If you play Russell Wilson, I mean, what do you think you're going to get? Yeah, he might be able to turn it around with a certain coach, but I don't think Denver fans are going to be very happy with what they see. Because if this year is any indication of where things are going, it only can get worse because he's getting older. And it was absolutely terrible this year. I feel bad for Denver. That was probably one of the worst transitions of hype to hell normally hype to hell is like a 5 to 8 year period. They did that in 5 to 8 months and then ruined everyone's dreams and beliefs that they actually had a future. Now you got to wait until the Russell Wilson experiment is fully over, and then maybe we can talk about playoffs and making a run. But you're fucked. I mean, honestly, if it was me, right, I would ask Walmart, all right, listen, we own this fucking Denver Broncos, right? We make a fuckload of money, right? We may not be like Elon Musk, or Zuckerberg or some of the top, but Walmart got money, okay? And if you're the family that owns the Walmart and you own the Broncos, I would literally just pay him. I'll be like, here's $250 million, buy. All right, we're cutting you. Here's your money. You want guaranteed money, get the fuck out of here. And just let him leave. I don't think anybody's going to pick him up. I mean, you'd be really dumb to do it if you want to pick him up. And I mean, obviously, even if you got him on the cheap, $500,000 a year. I don't even know if anyone would want him. I wouldn't want even Russ at $500,000 a year. Not even $1 million a year. No, not for me. Not for me. You're a cancer to the locker room. Not for me, dude. Not for me. And not for a lot of y'all either. But if it was me, that's what I would do. I'd be like, here, take your fucking money. And it would be like the first unprecedented, get the fuck out of here. Here's money like they do with college coaches when they fire them. Here's your fucking money. Get the fuck out. And that's what I would do. I would not wait until 5 years from now. I would start over next year. And I know legality purposes, that's not possible to just give him $250 million and say, fuck you, or buy or whatever. But they don't have to start him. You paid. It's like the Jets. You invested the number 2 pick in Zach Wilson, but is your pride going to come into the fact that you're just going to keep playing him because you drafted him number 2? You look more stupid playing him as starter when he's not, just because of the number 2 pick, but you don't want to be labeled an idiot. You look like more of an idiot when you keep Zach Wilson in the lineup because he's obviously not good enough to play. 2nd down and 10. I mean, Zach Wilson's a backup quarterback, not a starter. I mean, I think on certain teams, like if the Niners took a chance, I think Zach Wilson could turn around or Sean McVay and the Rams, he could go somewhere that has all the ultimate structure, Eagles, maybe primarily Niners, because I feel confident in what they have there, from the ownership to the GM to the OC to the DC. And they've lost guys like Saleh and Mike McDaniel, and they're still elite. Think about if Saleh was still there. Think about if Mike McDaniel was still calling plays. I mean, that's how you end up getting the fucking Super Bowls with Jimmy G, because you got amazing coaches everywhere. People don't understand that. Tipped. Incomplete. I mean, that's how you get guys like Brock Purdy to look actually good. You get Jimmy G, which everyone thinks he's just good looking, but he's like maybe the 15th or 16th quarterback. But most people hate him. You think he sucks, right? But they can still make it to the Super Bowl with a guy like that, because he is better than he looks, but also we know that he can't do anything in the 4th quarter. And that's really what prevents them from winning a Super Bowl. You can play good 1st quarter, 2nd quarter, 3rd quarter, but that's also on Kyle Shanahan to figure it out. You have to be able to, whatever you've been doing with Matt Ryan and Jimmy, it's got to change. And I do think Kyle will get a Super Bowl before his coaching career is up. He's way too talented. He's probably my favorite coach. Him and McVay and O'Connell as far as the youth movement, Mike McDaniel as well. But Kyle is probably my favorite coach in the league that isn't my own. If I had my first choice at head coach, it would be Kyle Shanahan, 100%, no doubt. And then McVay probably 2. I do like Kevin O'Connell and McDaniel. I like their, option of being able to get better and better and better. And then obviously OG coaches, Andy Reid, Mike Tomlin. I'd love to have guys like that, guys that have that structure and that success. But yeah, Kyle would be my number one choice. Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's going to be a long road. 16-13. Titans. Jags are running out of time. They need to figure this out. ETN, pretty much a non-factor. Oh, it's not going to be Purdy. Obviously, Lance is the guy that you invested in, so you're going to give a shot for Lance, and then Jimmy might still be there. You never know. Jimmy might be there. He might not be. But, I mean, ultimately for the Niners to win the Super Bowl, they need to get someone that's better than the guys that they've had. Someone that can produce in the fourth quarter, even if it's like an old-ass Tom Brady. You put Tom Brady on the Niners, you can get to NFC Championship game. You put Tom Brady on the Niners, you can get to the Super Bowl. You put Tom Brady on the Niners, you could actually win a Super Bowl, even if Tom is 45, 46, 47, because you know that even at Tom Brady's very worst, if you're surrounded around the Niners coaches and supporting cast, even at Brady's worst, if he ends up going there, he'll be better than most of those guys in clutch situations in the fourth, because a lot of times, we don't know if Trey Lance and Jimmy and Purdy can, you can do good in the regular season. You can do good in the first three quarters. But what about in the fourth quarter in a key game in the playoffs, NFC Championship game, Super Bowl? You got to have that extra. And I think Brady, even at that old age, he could get you a ring there. I'm not sure if they're going to look at him, but I assume that definitely Raiders are first choice, and then Dolphins second choice, and then Niners probably third choice. Niners would be Tom's first, but he probably understands that they're probably not interested based off his age and the money that they would have to pay him. But, I mean, that would give Tom the best shot to win. You know what I mean? If you had one last team to go to, that's the team you go to. And then Kyle and Tom could walk off into the sunset, even though Kyle wouldn't retire, but Tom would. All right, 16-13, Titans. First down and 10. Dobbs, hands off. Henry. There we go. This is the time. Hello. Got to play defense. Can't let Henry get loose. You are petty. Let's not say if you're petty. You are. Because you came in right after the Denver Bronco talk. Like you just sit here waiting. And then, we're talking about Russell Wilson. Let me get in here. Come on. I'm too smart for this. It's just because other people said it, but you got to be able to let things go. And if you're not one of those type of people to let things go, it's always going to be in you, eating at you. And, you can be on the good side of it or the bad side. You know what I mean? But, I can understand. I know people. Okay. I don't need to know you face to face to know your personality. And the pettiness between Bronco fans and Seattle fans is at an all-time high. And to act like you guys don't care about the rumors and what's going on in the NFL world is bullshit. You guys both hear all the noise, good or bad, but also, too, you guys both can't let it go. It's like, two fucking siblings just arguing back and forth, and it never will end. And it's never going to end until Russell Wilson is actually retired. And it still probably won't be over at that point. That doesn't make you a bad person being petty. That's just the truth, because you're that way too. You know what I mean? Sometimes we all get a little petty on certain things. When Warren Sapp left to go to the Raiders and John Lynch went to the Broncos, hell yeah, I was fucking petty. That shit fucking hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? That shit happens sometimes. And then you realize the NFL's a fucking business. So it's not about your fucking favorites. It's just sometimes that's what happens, But that's the truth. And I think Matt knows as a Bronco fan, and Megan, as a Seattle fan, that pettiness will never end. And that's just being honest and truthful. It's not meant to be hurtful, but it's not just even you two. It's everyone. Think about all the fans that you interact with that are Bronco fans or Seattle fans. They're never getting over this. You know what I mean? Bronco fans already feel like shit. And even if they said shit and talked shit before, how they got the best end of the deal, the Seattle fans won't take the high road and leave it alone, knowing that they're the better team now. It's like they have to get their jabs in and have these extra comments, even though it's unnecessary, just because some Denver fans said that we won the deal, we got Russell Wilson, we're going to be good, and you guys are going to suck, but you guys couldn't let it go. Seattle fans couldn't take the high road, right? Am I right or am I wrong? You know what I mean? Because that's just how it goes. When you're passionate about your teams and your players, sometimes that's just what fucking happens. You love your players and your team so much that you take shit personal. You don't mean to take it personal, but you do because you invest money in tickets. You buy the jersey. We sit here together, argue and talk shit and, go over the game together. I mean, this shit is a big part of who we are and our lives, but that's just the bottom line. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to take the high road, but it's hard to take the high road when people have made those jabs. And, it's like, even if you know that you're the better team and you got the better future and you got the better end of the deal, you know what I mean? It takes a real special individual to be able to move on. You know what I mean? Most people have a hard time to be able to move on. And like I said, that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing or a negative thing and it makes you this horrible person. It's just the reality of it all. You know what I mean? There's a lot of haters. It's just there's not as much positivity out there. And like I said, you already know how the world is. It's a bunch of fucking haters that are out there. And then sometimes when you interact with people and they don't know what they're talking about, then they start fueling the fire. And then you start getting a bunch of people that don't really know what's going on. And then they just kind of build this negativity and then almost like you'll just go into the room and you don't even mean to be negative. And then you start being negative because everyone else is negative. It's like one of those things. It's like wildfire. Positivity will create other positivity. But when you're around negative people, sometimes you could be like the nicest person in the world. And all of a sudden you start getting a little chippy. You know what I mean? You start getting a little bit more edgy because it's about who you're around. But like I said, Matt, as a Bronco fan, my best friend Justin is huge Bronco fan since the 80s. I mean, I hear and I live here in Oregon, so I'm already around Seahawk fans 24/7. Marcos, one of my really good friends, Seahawk fan for a long, long time, and a lot of my other friends too. So I hear it all, you know what I mean? And I get it. It's hard to let go, of beefs and whatnot. It's very difficult to, walk away. And sometimes it's based on what's happened to us personally in our life, and we hold grudges. I do the same sometimes. Sometimes I don't want to hold grudges, but you remember what people say and what people do. You know what I mean? Some people are really good to you, and other people, they fuck you over. And they say forgive and forget. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Depending on what it was, you can maybe forgive, but fuck that. Sometimes you don't forgive and you don't forget. That's facts. Reflect in the building. What to do? Yeah. Trevor, first down and 10. Oh, baby. Sandwiched. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a Titan sack lunch. Tart. My goodness. Jags offensive line. Hello. Jags offensive line. What's up, man? Yeah, and sometimes things like that just need to be said, you know what I mean? Because we're all at fault at that. Sometimes we can be petty. It's not just one or two people in the room. Like, all of us have been there before. And like I said, if you are a real sports fanatic, you know how much passion you have for your team and your guys. That shit means everything. Sometimes it takes over our whole fucking life in a good way and sometimes in a bad way. Especially if you can't react to losses and difficult information to hear in a positive manner. So once things start going south for a football team, man, some of my friends, they don't know how to act. They just lose it. It's not healthy. Already got enough stressors in our life. Got to find a good balance. 3rd down and 10. Come on, Trevor. Let's go. Shotgun set. Trevor going deep. Got a man. Incomplete. His accuracy needs to be better. He's not having time, and he's getting hit while he throws. But not only on the throws that he's being hit, the ones that he's got time, he hasn't been very comfortable in the pocket because the Jags O-line stinks. They fucking stink. Right. But do you know what I mean? Regardless if Denver fans said anything and you paid attention and took it personal or you didn't, the back and forth between Seattle fans and Denver fans is never going to end. You know what I mean? It's not really Denver saying anything because they have nothing fucking to say. They know they got the fucking raw end of the stick. They already fucked up on the player, fucked up on the coach. They took the growth of the team backwards 5 years, and now you can't even think of actually being good until that era is over. So now you have to think maybe, after 5 years from now, where is the team in? That's unfortunate, And on the bright side, when one team looked like it was gonna be like awesome, gonna be like a true AFC top 8 contender, or you go from a team that was supposed to be a bottom 3 or 4 team in the NFC that now has a really bright future. So that's great. We learned 2 things. Yeah, the team that we thought was going to be great, Denver, ended up being Seattle. And then Seattle, the team that we thought was going to be fucking horrible, ended up being Denver. But even in that situation, Denver's situation's a billions times worse than anything Seattle has ever endured. After any team, I think really if any team that Russell would have went to and this happened, this is the worst thing in the franchise. Like, how do you recover from this? Yeah, you can fire the coach, but you can't fire Russ, can you? I wish you could. It's like, here's 250 million, 300 million, bye, leave. And then we'll start over. And, even if it takes us a couple years to get draft picks and figure shit out again, whatever, but anything is better than playing you. And that's really what it's come down to, that he is so bad that even like second stringers are preferred. Coming from a guy that used to be top 3 in the NFL overall, how the mighty have fallen. Yeah, well, he's petty and mad because you guys didn't want him. You didn't want to pay him, and he felt that he was going to be a Seahawk for life. But at least he wanted to kind of, I think that he wanted to be there. But again, the money has to be right. It's a business. Yeah, but Bobby's never over it. He's a competitor, Hall of Famer. It just happens, man. It sucks. It's like you go from rooting for guys that used to be your guy, your favorites like Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner. Then they go to new teams, and then you feel kind of a hatred, you know what I mean? And then as years pass, that hatred starts to go away a little. And then once the player is completely done playing, then you can really reflect on the career. And then things are a little different. But when it's fresh, when the wound is fresh, and your guys go to a different teams, it's always a fucked up experience. It's never pleasant whatsoever. Everyone's irritated. One, the player's irritated because he didn't get the money. You know what I mean? The fans are irritated because now you're not representing the brand. Earl. Wasn't Earl doing some crazy shit, like trying to beat on women and like he was getting in some like altercation stuff? Hopefully Earl is okay. I think Earl needed like a little therapy. Like, I think mentally, I think he was going through some stuff. Dobbs? Yeah. When did the dislike for Russ start happening? When the shit went public that he wanted maybe a trade, or a couple years ago? When was the cutoff point where the Seattle fans weren't about Russ as much as they were early on? Maybe in the last 2 or 3 years, like when the rumors started to go Chicago Bears, and there was like these teams that maybe, Russ would go to, and maybe Russ needs better offensive line because he doesn't have an offensive line. And he was getting sack lunched all the time. And then he was making the public comments with Pete. So probably like 2 or 3 years ago. Is that right? Or is it even further back than that? I mean, every Seahawks fan is going to have a different answer for that, depending on how many games you watched and, how invested you are, in the team since Russ got there. But on the flip side, without Russ, there is no Super Bowl win. So he did end up getting you to 2, and you probably should have won 2. If you would have went to Marshawn Lynch on a handoff, I think you beat New England. But then if Pete Carroll calls that play and it's a touchdown, he looks like a goddamn fucking genius. Looks like the fucking Einstein, and all we're doing is talking Pete Carroll left and right. And that would be facts. 3rd down and 3, shotgun set. Dobbs. Wow. 1st down, Titans. Jake in the building. Not JT in the building. Dobbs, hands off. Uh-oh. This is where, like, the game is over. Because at this point, right, what happens? The Titans smell blood. They know that they have a shittier record, but they have experience. So now you already know what's going to happen. The offensive line is going to be on the PEDs and the steroids, and all they're going to do is fucking run the ball right down your throat, all on PEDs. Everyone's just on all of the PEDs. Balco, everyone is there. Run downhill. You can't stop it. You know we're going to run, and then the game is over. So we will see if they have an answer, but I would assume that this is the beginning of the end for Jacksonville. Treylon Burks, what happened to my hands? And if it's 2nd down and 1, run the fucking football, you dummy. He did blame Pete for everything, but in Russell's defense, you guys didn't do offensive line when he, did get sacked a shitload and was running for his life. That was one thing that he was truthful about. And everyone as a fan saw that too. Like, we don't have to be Seattle fans to understand that the Seattle offensive line and the Seattle defensive line at one point, both were bottom 2 in the league, and for you to be able to get 10 wins out of Russ for the team with no offensive line and no defensive line, that was really fucking impressive, because most guys wouldn't be able to run for their life and still be able to not have an O-line or D-line and still be somewhat effective as a playoff team. And Russ did that. So, yeah, Russ is definitely in the fault. And, he definitely probably threw Pete under the bus when Pete was protecting him, because no one knew the real Russ until this year. A lot of us didn't really know what was going on until you heard former players kind of expose him, other people expose and verify some of the stories. You know what I mean? I don't think, and no one really knew of these weird things. Like, I think that if we knew that he wasn't really a good person or a good teammate, I don't think we would be giving Russell Wilson that top 3 love, even if he was producing. Because, what you do behind the scenes and what you do off the field, that shit fucking matters to a lot of people, especially me. You know what I mean? Like, I lost a lot of respect. Like, I used to really like Russ, top 3, Northwest, NC State, doing the, Wisconsin Badger thing, playing him in the Rose Bowl versus the Ducks. So I got to see him firsthand. And, just sometimes you really don't know somebody. You think you know him, but you really don't. Unfortunate. But he only has himself to blame. 2nd down and 7, Dobbs, hands off to Henry. Short game. Yeah. Then he went Hollywood, right? Him and Sierra started brainstorming, and it became more of like an act that he was trying to be. He was trying to be a person, like a social media person, And that's when, if you already were kind of fake to begin with, but it just never seems like he's genuine. He's always playing a role instead of just being yourself. You're always trying to put on a face. And when you're fake like that, everyone can see it. It's not like you're trying to be cute and funny and you're trying to be this corny, gimmicky guy. Hit from behind, incomplete. Calling this a fumble? Touchdown, Jags. Get the fuck out of here. What the? Are you kidding me? Is this really a fumble? Oh, my. But there's still 2:51 left, so it's not like the game is over. But that was fucking crazy. Is that incomplete pass or a fumble? Yeah, and he got hurt. Yeah. But, yeah, you could definitely see it. Especially if you're winning big games. Wow. Fumble. Wow. I knew we were going to get a big play at some point, but oh my, it wasn't from Trevor Lawrence. Oh my God. Josh Allen. Hey, it's not the only Josh Allen that's good. Okay. This motherfucker's like, what the fuck? Cookies and cream. Extra point is up. And good. There's some excitement for you. Now you got to get a touchdown to win. That's a lot of pressure. That's a huge flip in momentum. Like field goal doesn't even do nothing. Like you're fucked. Like you got to go all the way. That's a lot of fucking pressure. 2016 Jags up. Wow, wow, wow. Oh my. Would you look at that? Yeah, but I mean, if you're a Seattle fan, Northwest person, I mean, you are so excited that you don't have to watch his downfall and you weren't the one that paid him. Could you imagine if you decided to pay and then this is what you got here? Like, it would be really fucking bad here. I mean, mental health is already an issue in the Northwest and the Pacific Northwest because we get so much rain, and so people get depressed and you got to be strong-willed. You know what I mean? You got to be able to fight through it if you live in Oregon and Washington, because not only can it be the most beautiful place you've ever seen, sometimes it does rain, multiple days in a row, and it does get kind of a gloomy vibe. But man, it could have been. I mean, if you're Seattle, you're like, oh, even if Geno struggled this year, I mean, just knowing that you're not Denver, like that's as bad as the Houston Texans are and all the other teams in the NFL. Cleveland Browns and their dumpster fire of an organization, guaranteed money to, a freak, Deshaun Watson. I mean, I feel that, gosh, that situation is like, even though the talent level isn't the worst in the NFL, the situation clouding around that organization is by far the worst situation in football. Like even the Texans is a better destination than there. Ouch. That's tough. That's tough to say, but it's true. Like Bryce Young and the Texans, that's a better future than what you got there with Russ in Denver until he's gone. Dobbs. First down, Titans. Dobbs. He looks like, from that angle, Charlie Villanueva. Remember him? Charlie Villanueva playing a little college ball in the NBA. That looks like Charlie Villanueva. How do I know Charlie Villanueva? I have no idea. But that just popped into my head, and I said, you know what? Motherfucker looks like him. I might not be the only one. First down and 10. Handoff. Henry. Yeah. Huh. Check down. Flag on the play. You might be the only one, bro. I mean, there is an opportunity for him to get better, right? You know what I mean? And like you had an option where you had Javonte Williams and you had, wide receivers that are names, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. They're not just like nobodies, right? But even Dulcich at tight end. But just the throwing motion, not, being athletic and bouncing it to the outside, not extending plays, and then you don't have the ability to get 2, 3, 4 touchdowns at ease anymore. Like it's hard to even get 1 or 2. That's what's a little concerning. There's a possibility that he'll have a good year or maybe a couple good years, but there's going to be more bad than good. At least that's the way it looks, moving forward. A $5 holla. $5 holla. Bang, bang. A Fred Taylor. A Fred Taylor. Okay.
Well, yeah, let's okay, let's just go ahead.
The award-winning Geico app. Download it today.
Good nights made easy. That's totally turned.
Scott Van Pelt here getting set for the post-game show. You know what's on the line.
2016 Jags. They're like, Trevor Lawrence, you fucking bitch ass. You can't even do it. Fine. We'll just get the defense to fucking bail you out. Number one pick. Hey, you'll take it anywhere that you're going to get it. Oh, my. Dobbs. Josh Dobbs. First down and 10, 2 minutes to go. Jags bring the blitz on first down. Fake to Henry. They bit. Ooh, almost a face mask there. They're lucky. 3-yard gain for Charlie Villanueva. 2016 Jags. I don't know what Charlie Villanueva would look like in a football uniform, but that's got to be close. Second down and 7. Shotgun set. Dobbs fumble. He picked it up. Oh. Lucky. Yeah, I think that's the number one thing is that the positive shit that he did, you can't bash on that. You know, because if you bash on that, right, then it makes you just the ultimate hater like everyone else out there in the world. You can still have your points and understand that he is, you know, toast and washed and you know, but you also have to make sure to remember the good times that there was a, you know, someone that you did root for very passionately for a good chunk, and there was some positives that came out of it. So as long as that's, you know, something that's done, then, you know, then you're fine. But then if you just go all in and just hate everything and then forget about all the good shit, you know, you don't want to be the ultimate hater. The 2023 haters ball. The Chappelle show. I mean, you watch it. He'll show you what the haters are about. Hate. But it's very interesting to see what direction both franchises will go. And short term, yeah, I can't wait to see what Seattle does. And you guys should be in the playoffs over me in Tampa. No question. 2016, it's just that Tom Brady's more marketable. And, you know, everyone thinks that, you know, just because Brady's there could be a chance of a magical run. That's where it runs out in Tampa this year. 2016, Jacksonville, 3rd down and 12. Dobbs, shotgun set. Jags bring the blitz. Flag on the play. False start on the offense. Yeah, but if you're a top 3 quarterback for like 5 to 10 years, right, and you never wavered behind Mahomes and Rodgers, and it was always Mahomes, Rodgers, Russ, Mahomes, Russ, Rodgers, you know, it was always those 3. So to have high expectations of a guy that didn't have an offensive line or a defensive line really ever, you know, at some point, Russ had some defensive line. You know, Frank Clark. They had some guys, Bennett, right? But overall, the O-line really wasn't there. They did have a magical run, you know, and get things done. But, I mean, when you're top 3 for all that time, you have an injury, right? You don't expect a guy to go from top 3 to bottom 3. And I think his reputation, you know, for high expectations followed because he was so great for so many years. Why would we think that he would do shitty? You're top 3, and if you've done it with no O-line, what makes us think that you can't do it there? And Hackett had such good success with Rodgers, 2 MVPs. Fuck it. It might work. And it didn't. Personalities, too different. Injuries were killer for that team too, though. Let's not act like Denver didn't have any injuries. They had some pretty fucking significant ones. And just bad vibe and bad juju all around. More arguments on the sideline and bitching and complaining with the other players not named Russ, more than I've seen in a long time. That's when you know it's really fucked. They can't even hide it on the bench or after the game's over in the locker room. It's just fucking not good. Can't hide it. Emotions way too real. 4th down and 13, 20-16, Saxonville. Big play of the game. Shotgun set, Dobbs. They only bring 4. Check down, stiff arm, and stopped. And the Saxonville Jaguars are going to the playoffs, baby. It was ugly, and they needed the defense to be the hero, not Trevor Lawrence. Hey, but they'll fucking take it. Hey, the MVP, Josh Allen. Without that play, this does not happen. See, everyone's perception will be different, though, because maybe instead of being a top 3 player, maybe some people thought top 10, maybe top 15. It's a new system. So everyone's going to have their own expectations, but it also kind of depends, how long you've watched them. And if you feel that there's going to be a drop off, injuries happen, you know what I mean? And that's going to slow you down, especially if it's on your hand, throwing hand or offhand, and you're a quarterback. That's pretty detrimental. You know what I mean? Especially if it's your throwing hand or something in your arm. That's pretty big. But yeah, I mean, everyone has different expectations. But I think one thing as far as expectations, I don't think anyone saw Jacksonville going to the playoffs. Nice job. Duval. That's big. And maybe now, with the big defensive play, now maybe Jacksonville can win a game in the playoffs and surprise someone, because maybe someone like that can make a big play. And normally maybe the team would lose, but they end up, finding a way. Trevor hyping the crowd up. The Jaguars are in the playoffs. You just have to deal with it. Ah! Yeah. The Herschel. That was big at that time, too. Controversial. Also, Ricky Williams. Very controversial. When you're like giving away a fucking team, or lots of money and just way more compensation than is appropriate. Man, Titans. Tough. Oh, Duval. Toby. There you go. Feels good. Hey, they hot. They hot. Yes, they are. Congrats, dude. Two years of being the worst team in the NFL, right? But building some cornerstone pieces like Trevor and Doug. And now the future looks bright even with the Colts and Titans being full strength, the Jags look like they can contend with those. So it'll be a 3-team race. And at some point, Houston will be good for like a year and they'll have to rebuild, but Trevor is the quarterback, at this point in the division, and CJ Stroud comes to Ohio State, but from Ohio State to the Colts. Man, crazy that they called that a fumble, and you scoop and you get to go all the way to the end zone. Man, special. You do not want to play them. Get him, Toby. Oh, baby. Duval, 9-8, dude. Beautiful. Final score, Jacksonville 20, Titans 16 on a MVP effort by Josh Allen, who was an amazing pick at the time. And now I feel that that play will put him on the map. And now more people will remember Josh Allen on defense, not just the quarterback on the Buffalo Bills. Sometimes you need to have a moment, you know what I mean? And hopefully that'll get some pub. And especially if he does it again and like a pick or a fumble for a TD or a big play. I mean, that's what we need. You know, more guys on defense getting the spotlight, and huge. I mean, without that play, Uncle Mo, I mean, we're not even talking about a Jacksonville victory. Incredible. I mean, especially if you watch Trevor at Clemson, you knew that he's like an Andrew Luck. Like, I mean, I feel that if you thought that he was going to suck forever, I mean, you didn't watch him in college or high school. Like, you could just tell he's built like a prototypical quarterback would be built like, you know, in 2020 and beyond. Still needs improvement, and the NFL is tough, but, you know, you keep improving the defense. You got a good coach in there. You know, you're actually starting to build, like, this is the first year. Everything you did prior to that, it's whatever. You know, it's like you're talking about this year moving forward, and there you go. Now he feels like a winner again. I mean, he hasn't felt this way since Clemson days. It's been a while. Imagine, like, never losing a game, then going to the NFL and just sucking ass, right, for just, like, a couple years. That would fucking hurt you mentally. You just never lost before, ever, and then you just fucking lose all the time. Got to be mentally tough. You called it right there on the head. Absolutely. Some guys are quarterback guru whisperers. Sean Payton is one too. Fuck it. You just won this game. You going to Disneyland. Fuck what you're getting in the draft. You got to soak this in right now. Fuck the draft. You made the playoffs. Maybe you can beat someone. Maybe the Jags and Tampa might upset someone. Who knows? I mean, like, I don't think, you know, you guys are more dangerous than Tampa, but every once in a while, when Tampa plays good football, we can steal the show. You know what I mean? But that doesn't happen very often anymore. I mean, Brady's got a fraction of the touchdowns as he did last year and the year before. We're just beat the fuck up.
Huge steps over the years, just, you know, whether it's passing game, rushing game, whatever it is. With our communication, our chemistry is really, really good right now.
And you got to think they were like 2-7, 3-7, and they finished 9-8. Think about how unbelievable that is. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we're the worst team in football 3 years in a row, right? And then all of a sudden, Doug's like, you know, it's going to be week 18, and that's the week that we're going to turn it around and make the playoffs. And it literally happens. Sometimes, you know, you just know. As a coach, he's calculated in his brain, okay, how many wins can we get if we go on a streak from where we're at now? Can we get to this point where maybe we lose one game and we win the rest and win out? And you get hot at the right time and you talk up the team and they believe what you're saying and they execute. And, hey, I mean now we got to see if the Detroit Lions can do it. They have an opportunity to do it tomorrow against Green Bay. Someone's getting into the playoffs. And then the Jets, you know, they just fell a little too short, but if Brees Hall's healthy, the Jets could definitely make the playoffs next year. They got to figure out that quarterback, though. Oh, baby. Yes, with that win and that big defensive play, that's the first time they've been in the playoffs since like the 1900s. So, yeah, I mean, Blake Bortles, they had their time. Khan is like, oh, I got the AEW. I got the Dynamite Rampage. Now I have Jags in the playoffs. Let's go. Dude, Khan put his money where his mouth is, and fucking A, man. Like, I can't say enough about Tony and then Papa Khan, you know, because, like, just to have an alternative to WWE is fantastic. And I actually love AEW more than WWE. So just, wow. Josh Allen, amazing. Bing, bang, bing, bong. Said tomorrow gonna be red. Yeah, but the thing is, wouldn't it be sweeter beating Dallas so that way you don't have to hear the crybaby shit? Like, you guys played each other. You had an opportunity. You fell short. We beat you. You don't want to cut corners. If you want to be the best, the Eagles, you want to play the best. You don't back down to no one. If you're the best team in football the whole year, hey, you're not ducking fucking Dallas. Yeah, they can beat you. Yeah, they're good. But it's going to be a lot sweeter if you actually beat them. Then they can't talk to you about anything. They can make excuses all they want, but it's going to feel good to be like, have that over them. You want to play the rivals. That's how you make history, and we remember you. It's not with Tampa just cutting the legs down of Dallas so you don't have to worry about getting eliminated. Plus, you got a bigger threat than Dallas. It's called San Fran. So that's a fact. Toby said, Jags Bucks Super Bowl. Oh, my. Oh. Let's go. That was, I don't think I've seen a game-winning touchdown play. I'm trying to think of like when the last time I actually saw a good one like that, and I can't even remember if I've seen a better one than that in a while. Maybe not even this season or early on. I'm trying to use my brain here and like, okay, when was the last time I saw some crazy shit like that? And that was like so meaningful to like get into the playoffs. Like, holy shit. Guy's always been a great player too. I remember thinking, this guy would be great on Tampa Bay. I remember I was thinking that when I saw him in the draft, but it's like you got, Devin White, Levante David, and obviously this was a few years back. He said, put down the booze, Toby. Toby young. Toby's a young buck. Toby is under a certain age. He said, Trevor Lawrence versus Patrick Mahomes. Saying, you know what I mean? And like I said, they started off like it was like 2-7, 3-7. They got to fucking 9-8. That's pretty impressive for being the worst team, in the NFL for 2 years. But remember, I told you, like, and then now, no one expected this run right here at the end. But I'll tell you, a lot of people have been, I mean, if there's anyone to root for in the AFC South, it's clearly the Jags and trying to make history. And, you can be a Colt fan or Titan fan and be upset, but it just wasn't your year, and then we already know the Texans are like the worst team in football. So very cool to see you guys 1 year ahead of schedule. But imagine if you would have had Aiden Hutchinson instead of Trayvon Walker. What could have been? Still like Trayvon a lot for your team, but Aiden would have been insane. More stats on defense for you guys, for sure. Chief sending me food on Instagram that he ate some ribs. They look delicious. Then I commented, Ancient Aliens new episode last night, and it was good. And you need to watch it. And I got to tell Shep too. Big win for the Jags. What's good, brother? Brother. What is good, brother? Brother. That's a good question. That's when the analytic and the stat people, I guess if you're going back all the way to like the 60s, like from Super Bowl I until current, I mean, there's information that needs to be looked up, because obviously some of the, teams and champions were before our time. We know about them, but that is a very good question.
Make sure she joins USAA.
My family loves USA.
Well, even Holly, and we talked about it, towards the beginning of the year. We're like, well, wouldn't it be crazy if the Jags and the Lions made the playoffs? And literally, the Lions, if they win, boom, shakalaka, it's like the teams that suck can be good. You just got to give it some time, and then the right pieces have to fall into place, brother. And then you just got to, I guess, pray that there's injuries, which there was, and someone has to take advantage. And so even though they were the third best team probably going into the year, behind the Colts and the Titans, they ended up first by being the healthiest at the end. Brother. Still can't believe that fucking play happened, dude. Shit was crazy. It's like, fuck, let me just fucking run this in for a tutty. Unbelievable. No, but I think it's, if you look at it, Eagles can win at home, but Dallas can win at home. Eagles can win in Dallas, but Dallas cannot win in Philly. I think that's very clear. I mean, I watch the games very, very closely, and you can just tell, the vibe with the Eagles fans when Dallas comes in, even if they're a fantastic top 2-3 team in the NFL, there's just a different vibe where they try to hide that they're not bothered by the noise and the fans there. But God, it's so hard to win there. It's a fucking advantage there. Very noisy drunks, very passionate, noisy drunks. Very good fan base, even though sometimes they throw snowballs at Santa. That play was wild, brother. Fucking A, dude. I was like, oh, that's incomplete. But he was smart. He picked it up. Just, okay, I'm going to play the play completely out. And what's the worst they're going to do? Say it's just, incomplete pass. Because some guys freeze a little bit and they kind of wait to see and look at the ref. And he didn't at all. Just kept playing through, or maybe he thought it was a fumble based on how he saw the arm, and, no hesitation. Bing, bang, bing, bong. And then there you go. 37-yard fumble return to put his name on the map, baby. Jamar Games in the building. What to do? Chief, you got to get on that Ancient Aliens, though. Like, they do hot spots. Bro, it goes over all the hot spots, not only in the U.S., but, like, globally. And then, like, stuff to do with, like the magnetic lines and the equator, and, how things, there's, like, a certain pattern. Stuff going into the water, stuff that's underground, not necessarily, like, through the sky itself. Portal. Skywalker Ranch, like the show on Discovery or History, how they have the Skywalker Ranch. It's like very high-end activity. Like the number one spot in the U.S. is there at the ranch site. So all kinds of cool stuff. You'll like it, man. I got to share it with Shep. I haven't just got a chance to talk to him today, but I know that he likes that shit too. Burnt out a little bit. It got to a point, we took a day off after the DeMar, right, to reflect our minds and just, to just give us a day, because obviously me and Sarah are super invested, and, we try to have the empathy and sympathy, and shit does matter, you know what I mean? And it does affect everyone a little differently. And sometimes, you just want to make sure he's going to survive and things are going to be okay. And thank God that he's off the tube, and now he's, breathing on his own, still got a long ways to go. And then, and you just have to try to enjoy each moment. And then obviously took a day, went back, did a little bit, then took a couple other days on Thursday and Friday. I just wasn't really feeling very well. And then we grinded earlier today and did the Chiefs matchup against the Raiders. Chief victory. Okay. 31-13. Chiefs. Okay. And then we did this. And we got to see some magic. But yeah, I feel better today. But sometimes it's tough, dude. Like, and I'm going to probably go for an hour walk with Paisley and to get out there, listen to some music and, get that exercise. And sometimes that's not necessarily ideal, but, I know she needs it. I need to do it for my own self. And yeah, Chief, huh? Number one seed. I mean, now the Bengals feel kind of screwed. Bills got injuries and doesn't seem like a full championship caliber team. They're going through a lot of adversity, and I get it, and they can play for DeMar, but not having Von Miller might have been the, like, needle in the haystack, that extra, little Salt Bay on top, like the cherry on top. It's like sometimes you need that piece that's going to take you over the top. You don't have that piece, you're probably not winning. That's Von Miller. Yeah, if you didn't have Von Miller and OBJ, Rams are not winning. As great as Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford and Aaron Donald and Ramsey were last year, if you watched the playoffs and at the end run in the last month, there was nothing hotter than OBJ and Vaughn. And they made the most of their impactful skills, and they played like Hall of Famers, on that end run. That's facts. Yeah, it sounds like it will. I mean, he might not play next year, but as long as he's alive and then he can breathe on his own, the lung damage can be repaired to the best of his ability. Yeah. And then for whatever reason, obviously they did some videos on it, but the NFL PA and the NFL, they usually don't, they don't take care of a lot of the NFL players like we think they do, afterwards, like if they have retirement stuff or if they have some kind of injuries and whatnot. But should be interesting. But Chiefs the real deal, Bills the real deal, Bengals the real deal, Jags kind of a scary team, Chargers at times can be scary, and everyone else is kind of a pretender. Getting hot at the right time. Strick in the building. What to do? Oh my God! Like I've been reading these reports. And obviously if you make enough money and that you can be good, but imagine if you're on your like rookie deal and he never plays football ever again, they're not going to compensate him, like, unless, people make an uproar about it. You know what I mean? Like for whatever reason, if DeMar never could play football again, to be able to like make sure that he's okay and, sacrifice some of those billions of dollars and you can take care of a family. So that way, if his son or daughter wants to go to college or he wants to be able to, move on with his life. And even though he wasn't able to play football ever again, but just like, I think that would be like the moral right thing to do, in that situation for him. If it ended up being where his lungs are so damaged, he can never play football ever again, just take care of him for the rest of his life. You don't have to give him $1 billion fucking dollars, but you don't have to just ignore him either. And I think little things like that go a long way to the perception of the NFL, but I highly doubt, I mean, they're, it's cut and dry, money, deals, money. And it would just be nice to have like, these players are risking their brains at the end of the day and they can't even get compensated. But there's a lot of stuff that's out there, video wise and article wise to read up on that if you guys are unfamiliar with it, but it's fucking alarming. Like to see who's compensated after their NFL days. If you play like under 4 years or if you go like 20 years, and depending on how you leave the game and, all the little bullshit writing, the little, hidden print stuff. And man, it's just crazy stuff. You just hope that people would get protected more, but I guess it doesn't happen. Yeah, and like I said, I told you, Joe Burrow's legacy is Joe Montana could be rewriting history this year. If for whatever reason the Chiefs and Bills don't make it and it's the Bengals, and even if the Bengals lose, right, just like Utah did in the Rose Bowl 2 years in a row, doesn't mean they suck or they're bad. You're getting to the game. It's just you're not being able to win it just yet, but they're going to get back again. Like Utah's good enough that, with the run game and the way they play defense, that it's not that crazy to think that Utah will have other opportunities to win a Rose Bowl against like Ohio State or Michigan one day. It's going to happen. Wisconsin, whoever it may be, you know what I mean? But the Bengals already beat the Chiefs this year, beat them twice last year. They have their number. The Chiefs are not good playing from behind against them when they get down by more than 10. The play calling gets really erratic. It's not the same Chief football when it's tied, they're ahead, or when they're only down a little, and then it kind of stays true to form. But definitely when they get down by 10 to a team that runs the ball effectively and has good defense, that's when you start seeing like the kind of weird Chief football that we're not really used to seeing. So Chiefs don't really want to fuck with them. Bills are still a great football team, but those injuries are really impactful on the defensive side. And I think that's really going to be the killer to them. So if the Bengals end up getting there, it's going to be the first time since 03-04, but let alone, you don't get to the Super Bowl typically after you win, but you absolutely never get there if you lose. Once you lose, it's a complete rebuild and shit happens and people are upset. And you know what I mean? It's like you have to get over the loss. People don't. It's like you can't mentally just rebound the next year and boom, you're back there again, even if you were to lose. But I think for Burrow's legacy, we always talk about Mahomes and Allen, and Herbert gets some talk, but obviously the team sucks overall. Usually they get hurt, they lose. So he never really gets the full pub that he deserves. And Burrow is a lot better than people think. He's very calm, cool, collected. And behind Mahomes, I would actually go Burrow over Josh Allen. I know some people might think that's crazy, but it's a personal preference. I love what Josh Allen has with his arm. He's a risk taker. He's got an awesome, cannon, but I just like someone that's a little bit more trustworthy and effective in Burrow. Just longevity of career. Burrow reminds me of a Joe Montana, and I kind of connect more to Burrow. I think Josh Allen's amazing. Don't get me wrong. If he was quarterback for Tampa, of course, I'm going to be rooting my ass off for a guy like that. Definitely one of the top guys. But even with that being said, Mahomes is still better than all of them. So, we can end that debate. So that's a fact. Right. But it's the teams that have good running game and defense. And if you end up getting past the Bengals and the Bills, you're going to be running into the Eagles, Cowboys, Niners. That's not what you want. I mean, we know the Chiefs can win it all, but essentially you don't want to have to play a fucking team that runs the football really well. They run it down your throat and it's coming. You still can't stop it. And then, the defense is elite and they got good play calling, except for the Cowboys. We don't believe in the play calling or the coach or anything there, but that's a situation in all itself. But it'll be interesting. And I could honestly, this is the first time that I honestly could see Bills, Chiefs, or even the Bengals. And I kind of felt that way even months ago, before the trend of people talking about it. Like I was like, dude, this team feels like different to me. Like this, Higgins, like Jamar Chase gets injured. They don't even lose a beat really, and Samaje Perine is playing like a fucking RB, like top 12 player as a backup. Like, Mixon goes down with an injury. Perine can go in there and get you 2-3 scores in like 110. What? And the offensive line is improved, but not by that much. It's not like the O-line is top 10. O-line still fucking stinks. And the defense is suspect at times, but has been getting better. But you never know. I mean, that's what makes football crazy. Bills, Chiefs, or Bengals, and if Bengals do it, it'll be the first time in a long time that we've seen someone get back to that stage. And if Burrow goes back and they lose the Super Bowl to like the Eagles, Bengals, Eagles, and they lose, it's not going to be the last time you're going to see Burrow. You're going to see him back again, even if they have to go through Allen and Mahomes. Like, I think I'm not really a big Zach Taylor guy, so I can't really fully invest in the Bengals overall, but I do like the core of the players that they have, and I like the coaching and direction that they've had. They just seem like different. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people can see the obvious Bills, Chiefs, but the Bengals isn't as obvious as people think. And some people think that they're not even that good. We'll find out. Oh, man, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Jameson Meza. Hey, but someone's got to win. And at least, you can worry about the draft and go from there. But I know if you're a fan, you're competitive. No matter what your record is, you want wins and you want to go to the playoffs every single time. I think maybe I just endured more suck, so I'm just like, okay, draft, I'm totally okay missing out the playoffs and taking one step back to go 10 steps forward. But if you're more consistent, like normally like the Titans, and I get it, it's like, you don't even want to sacrifice looking on to next year when you have a chance to be to the playoffs and it's like right there. But it's good for the NFL for the Jags to get in there. And once you guys get your quarterback, whether it's Malik, Dobbs or someone else, free agency wise, then we'll get back to Titan football. So a JJ. Yeah. If Jensen is actually practicing with Brady, and that's the most important piece on the line, the center, and he's a top 5 center. He's really fucking aggressive. Like, I don't know if you guys are very familiar. I know some of you guys watch football like I do, but Jensen don't fuck around. Like, if you fucking do something or say something, he will fuck you up. And we haven't had too many of those kind of guys that kind of strike a little fear. Like, there's a couple NFL offensive linemen that people don't fuck with at all. And if you do, you will get payback in some way. It may not be dirty, but you will feel the payback. So I'm hoping that Jensen can bring that fire, but not having Gronk. That's huge, dude. You know what I mean? It's that security blanket. And, when you don't have Gronk, that takes away so many first downs, so many extended drives, so many red zone looks that even if he can't run anymore and he's on a fucking, a walker, he can run 3 yards, put the walker down, put his hands up, he scores. Gronk is very good in short space. He doesn't lose on one-on-one balls in his career very often. And sometimes Gronk does like crazy shit where you're like, damn, Gronk, you're like moving kind of like a wide receiver, like Kelsey does. But once you have a taste of Robert Gronkowski, and, it's weird not having him there. It's like a piece of you is gone. You're like, all right, well, I guess we suck now. Living the suck life. At least I have the good old days, though. Nothing will ever top this, ever.
Jags again settle for the field.
All right, talk soon. Have a great day.
Fourth quarter. It's a 16-13 game. There's approaching 3 minutes. Can the Jags get a stop on third down? They can do better than that. Jenkins hits stops. The ball is free on the field. They let the play go, and the ball is out. And it's a scoop and score.
All right, well, I think we're about to wrap up. We got, 6 minutes? We got 6 minutes left, 5 minutes left until we hit the 3 hour and 30 mark. I've already did 2 games today. So probably to spend some time with Paisley. I want to spend time. It's already 8:35 here. So I appreciate you guys. We got 5 minutes to go. If there's any photos of anything that you want to see, brother, we can put those up. And then unless we get some crazy dono train happening, then I could go for 36. But I'm thinking, 6 to 36 minutes is the kind of where I'm thinking. But I also want to be able to spend some time with Paisley. And tomorrow we're going to do a minimum of doing Packers and Lions. There may be a chance I do a morning or afternoon game, but I'm going to have to talk it over with Sarah, figure out what I'm doing with Paisley, and making sure I'm, not neglecting her and spending time with her. So we're going to do at least one game Sunday night, but we'll see if I do one in the afternoon or morning. Might just take that time just to spend with my pup, and then we'll just prepare and we'll do Sunday night. But if anything's changed, you guys will know. Anything last minute that you want to see, Sarah? Anything there? And then I can just kind of start deleting some of these photos. And congratulations to the Saxonville Jaguars. Jacksonville. Dougie P. That's a, definitely coach of the year prospect type talent for sure. And it makes his stock look so much better overall. It's like if he ever leaves or gets fired, someone will instantly hire him. There's not like, oh, I don't know if I can hire this guy. Like you saw what he did in Philadelphia. You seen what he's doing in the worst situation in football, bottom 2-3, and turned it around. This guy's going to instantly get a job anywhere if there's an opening, if they do let him go, based on what he's actually done just this year. I mean, congrats to you, brother. Oh, Chief with a tenner. He said, I need to watch that Ancient Aliens, brother. Appreciate you. Chief, what do you want to see for photos, Chief? What Chiefs players? You want some Jamal Charles? I'll go a little bit past, 3:30. If we need to go for like 10 minutes, we can do that. And I can throw up some photos for you. We got to make sure we get the $10 where they can't just skip out. Oh, $10. See ya. Bye. And then, I'm just sitting there watching Ancient Aliens. So let me know what you want to see. And let's do a couple Chief players for you. And then we'll end up ending the video here in about 5-10 minutes. We'll call it a day.
I'm so proud of the guys for the way they've just all season long just hung together and through the face of adversity at times, and even through some of the high moments, we just stayed the same. We just kept trusting in each other,
yeah, brother. Dougie P.
Guys just improved every single week, and it showed.
Oh, thank you. 115 in dono. $100 dono from Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk. $100 in the first stream, $100 in the second stream. Without Cyberpunk, would have been interesting, to say the least. Game changer, the MVP.
It's been a while, that he's had 9 wins, and just so happy that we were able to.
Cyberpunk being cyber.
Can you describe
I mean, as a coach, when you're excited, but as a coach, you go, okay, it's got to go replay.
Derek Thomas. See, she knows. We know how people think. Like, all right, man. I'll do something, but I know it's something that you'll like too. That's what we do here. That's what we do. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Show us what happens on that play. The question was, can you break this down? You can.
Yeah, I'll break it down. Part of it is this: you have an inexperienced quarterback with this offense that he's playing with. You need to be on the same page protection-wise. 5 guys lined up at the line of scrimmage with 3 to the right. So that should really mean that the center over to the right side slide that direction.
Yeah, my favorite Chief player ever.
They don't do it correctly. They slide from the left.
Big Christian Okoye, Nigerian Nightmare fan too. Like those are my because I grew up with that shit. So it's like those guys and the way they looked and the way they played. It just stays in your brain. I mean, if you saw it, I mean, there's no unseeing greatness. It just was awesome.
Jenkins comes.
Gotta get home though.
So he comes. Now the answer to that, because you don't have a blocker, is right there. But the quarterback is looking over here. He's got to see it and know it. He doesn't. Gets it from behind. The ball's out. It's 35.
Then we get you some stuff you've never seen before. You never seen before. Gonna find the good pictures that you never seen before. Ooh, look at that one. Your boy had to dig for that one, dude. Dig Dog. Playing some Dig Dug. Remember that game on Nintendo, Dig Dug? Your boy does. Got me going old school like Charles in charge. Not just Charles. Yes, legend. Could have been known as the best defensive player of all time if he never would have passed. Like, you can't really say that about too many people.
I don't know if they were scoring. What do you make of the evening in total for more?
I think it was a struggle, and Troy told you, look, they left a lot of plays out on the field. Trevor Lawrence did not play well in my estimation.
Why or what?
Yeah, Trevor did not play well.
Why? But he missed plays. Like, this is a terrible play. The little flip that he misses. This is an awful miss to Zay Jones. That's a touchdown there. That's 4 points they left on the board.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Plus, I like collecting like starting lineups, and so I'm always looking for certain ones that players I like, and I would always look for certain Niners and Eagles and Chiefs. Like there's just always teams that I watched, when I was a kid, and I guess once you stick with teams, even teams that aren't your primary, it's like you just keep up with those rosters, and that's never been anything it's always been extra following those certain franchises. Oh, Jamal.
Is going to join us, the AFC South champs. And that's not all, America. Show them to me. Show them to me. There we go. Huh? How about some bad beats, big man? You ready? Sounds good. Let's do it. All right. After Steve joins us. He's in Los Angeles. He has other jobs these days.
Well, he's just still young, still isn't there yet. He's number 1 pick, but he's not a top 10 or top 12 quarterback yet. He's still like a top, 15 to 18 quarterback. Like there's so much potential for him to get to the 10 or 12, but he's just not there yet. Sometimes he does look like a 10 or 12, top 10 or 12 quarterback, but other times you can, you see like good shit, but then there's like, wow, what the fuck were you thinking type of stuff. And he needs to clean that shit up, otherwise he's going to be like middle of the pack or like a Kirk Cousins. And you don't want to be labeled a Carr, Cousins, or Tannehill per se, if you can end up being like higher, if possible, Nothing wrong with being 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, but it's much better to be in the top 10. Oh, yeah.
Jardiance may cause serious side effects, including ketoacidosis that may be fatal, dehydration that can lead to sudden worsening of kidney function, and generally used for urinary tract infections. A rare life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. And don't take it if you're on dialysis. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
One steady pill that goes beyond lowering A1C.
We're on it. We're on it. We're on it with Jardiance.
Ask your doctor about Jardiance.
Yo, boy.
Getting the perfect home is a journey. So we help you find it.
Oh, Chief $5. He's doing his own dono train, my brother. Appreciate you. $5 supporting the brand. NWSF. We all about this and Ancient Aliens, baby. Be entertained. We are not alone. We have never been alone. Chief Will, Chief, $5. Appreciate you, brother. Of course, Toby, you won. You won, dude. You found a way. Congratulations, brother. Maybe a Larry Johnson before we go. I had to. That Jamal Charles one was way too good for me not to share. I was like, ooh, can't leave the stream without having something crazy like that. Maybe some Larry Johnson. And then I gotta call it a day. And of course, when I do Larry Johnson, the first one that comes up is LJ Larry Johnson on the Charlotte Hornets.
I was paid for my ex's internet for months before. Rocket Money uncovers hidden charges and notifies you when those charges are due. From there, you decide if you want that service. And if not, cancel it right from the app with one tap. Join Rocket Money today.
A heart attack? Do they have life insurance?
No.
But we have life insurance. John.
I'm trying to find something we can afford.
Fortunately, in only a few minutes, SelectQuote found John a $500,000 policy for only $29 a month. And his wife Ann a $500,000 policy for only $21 a month.
Letty
Go to SelectQuote.com now
Johnson.
for the insurance your family needs at a price.
It was pretty fucking good too.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Chiefs.
Raiders.
Chiefs trying to get that one seed in Vegas, and you're going to see this all around the National Football League on Saturday and certainly Sunday as well. Chiefs showing their support for your
Love the old school. God, the unis. Fucking hard to not enjoy shit like that. Woo, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Number one, Jarek McKinnon. Another look, it's Mahomes just ad-libbing. McKinnon's got a reception.
Appreciate you guys. Larry was. Oh, we got a dono on here. Chief O'Chief, he said, yo, for your YouTube grind, I'm giving you all my lunch money, sucker. I'm giving you all my lunch money. Half of my lunch money, I'm going to give it to you on the Cash App. The other half on the Super Chat, my boy. Appreciate you. Chief, Will, Chief. Appreciate you, man. Your support means a lot, you know what I mean? Just to have people that, you know, always will support me, you know, depending, it doesn't matter, you know, whatever the sub count is, it doesn't matter how many people are in the room. It's like you just, you know, build a bond with certain people, and I appreciate you, man. You always do above and beyond and whatever you can do. And of course, you know, if you have to decide between ribs and me, definitely do ribs. You know, you can always take care of down the road on another day, but hey, I guess it's a special day, ribs and taking care of O. My brother, a chief, well, chief, a $10 dono. Bang, bang, boom, boom. The YouTube grind. Make me lose my mind. Bang, bang. Appreciate you, man. Anything last minute you want to see? Like I said, I can throw up a couple more. Anything that you want to see? Yeah, we appreciate it. You want to call it a day? Call it a day. You want something else? I'll throw some more stuff on here. I mean, I definitely should throw at least one thing up here. Give me a chief player. Give me somebody. What do you want to see? Old school or new? Hey, if it's for the YouTube grind, I just can't get a dono and say bye. I don't work that way. Let me know what you want to see. You want to see Larry Johnson's yellow tooth? The LJ from the Charlotte Hornets? Well, if you do or you don't, you're going to get it anyways because it's here. First pick in the draft, me, Larry Johnson. God, he was awesome. Alonzo Mourning, Muggsy Bogues. And then when they talk about that story, how everyone had a Charlotte Hornets starter jacket, that shit is so fucking true. I had one, and I know some of y'all had one too. It was insane. I might still have mine. It's like super small though, because I wore it when I was a little kid. LJ. Derek Johnson, great choice. That's one of my favorites on the roster of all time, too. Saw him at Texas, fell in love with his game, and I'm a linebacker guy, so of course I'm going to love that. Great choice to end at the end. He said, all right, it's all cool with that gold tooth and all, but, you know, he said, fuck that. Give me some LJ. LJ all day. Said, bye, Larry Johnson. I got to make room. Sorry, bud. Derek Johnson. Had a nice kind of squad there. Tamba Ali, you know, had a couple nice pieces. The pieces.
It's impossible to stop him even when you got to stop. Explain what I'm talking about. You know, there's a time when quarterbacks will play above the X's and O's, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, paid as well. Sometimes they make the right call. His ability.
Yes, Justin Houston was baller too. Yeah, we'll scoop him real quick here too. If we're going to do one, we have to talk about the other. Got to get that photo with the red with him staring down someone because that's what you remember him doing. So let's see if your boy can find it. Yes, I can. Bing bong. Bing bong. Yo, boy. I'm staring you down, boy. He's a straight Barra. Barra. B-A. Rara. I know, right? I just have to use the skills and work quickly. I got to work quick, dude. There's no time to fuck around. You know, he's like, oh, I got a photo to, you know, show you guys 10 minutes later. Everyone's asleep. It doesn't work like that. It's like, you got to fucking bing, bang, bing, bong. It's like, that bitch better be up there in a minute or less, or, you know, there's hell to pay. Another one. Yeah, bye. Well, I appreciate you. Have a good rest of your night. I'm going to spend some time with Paisley, and you guys are the best in the fucking world, man. Oh, I found another last Justin Houston one since I was just chilling right here, so might as well just share it. If I got it, I might as well share it before we dip because it's awesome. Bing bong, another one. Appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. I love you. I appreciate you. Make sure I don't have anything left in there. And I knew I had just a weird intuition that someone might have done something above and beyond, like Chief, and he did. And I appreciate you. Man, oh, man. Amazing game. Final score, Jags 20, Titans 16. MV Pizzle, Josh Allen, defensive touchdown. I appreciate you guys tremendously. You guys are the best. And I'll be back tomorrow for Sunday night, and we'll decide if we end up doing something above and beyond that. So love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And again, I will be back very, very shortly. And I got one question for you. Who you know talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Thank you to everyone that supported Sarah, the GOAT. The GOAT, always going above and beyond. Chief, thank you so much for your support right there at the end. Everyone else that's watching, love you, appreciate you. And the true MVP is Cyberpunk. 100 on the first stream, 100 on the second stream. MVP, just like Chief and everyone else, including Sarah. Love you guys, and I appreciate you. We will talk tomorrow. Have a great rest of your night, and I'm out. Gang.